All right. What's up, summoners? King Blair here. It has been a quite some time since we last streamed. I believe it's been a little bit over a month, actually, maybe even two. It's been busy, but I finally found some time. And also, Epic 7 just dropped a really big patch, and I got really excited and wanted to stream about it. Especially because I've been busy, but I try to find the time to cover all the updates, all that good stuff. And yeah, have a little bit of fun. It has been some time. It has been a really long time, a little too long. I will be turning my camera on. As usual, I do have to add a couple of tabs here and there as well. So if you will give me 1 second, because sometimes it does take a while to actually do all this. But yeah, we'll get right into it. So let me type the description and all that good stuff. All right, so that's that. Let me add Epic 7. I wish that I would be able to do this before I actually start streaming, but for some reason it really doesn't let me. So I have to do it. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff coming. So there's new content, there's new heroes, there is the buffs that just came out. There's a lot of stuff to actually talk about. And it has been some time. I could have made it like several videos to make it easier, but I wanted to just talk about it live because there's a lot of really good stuff, and some of the stuff will end up being videos and stuff like that. The C notes from E7 that released, no, I will see that in a second. I have not checked anything in about an hour. Give me like 10 seconds to type this up, and then I'll be ready to talk. And then I'll put the camera on in a second too. Okay. All right, we got it. All right, so let me put the camera on. What's up, summoners? What's up, Game with a 6? What's up, Dosh Star? It's been a while. I actually haven't seen a lot of you guys in a very long time. So it is good to get to talk to you guys again since it has been such a long time. Let me turn my camera on. That I realize you guys probably can't see for some reason. Huh, that's weird. It's just not working. Maybe if oh, there we go. I got it. I got it. All right, so yeah, what's up, summoners? King Blair here. But yeah, let's just start with let's just get right into it because there's a lot of stuff. There is a lot of stuff also, right? So we have just the patch notes that we got yesterday, and we have the massive stream as well as the dev notes that we also got. There's a lot. Like there's actually a lot of updates. Someone just told me that they also put a dev notes. I imagine the dev notes are legit just going to be what they showed on the stream, but things more in detail. So we'll take a look at that as well. But this is one of them. There is also more than this, but this is just the basic ones. So let's just go over them. Let's talk about it, and then we'll go into the more. We'll also go into the stream because there's a lot of stuff that's not on here. If you didn't see the stream, you missed a lot. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's been a while. All right, let's jump right in. Let's just jump right in. So first, let's talk about the stuff that is right in the actual patch. So we got the balance patch. This is cool. This is nice. I talked about it in a video, but it is really nice, right? A lot of these updates are gonna make the units good, and I talked about. And let's just talk about it again because you may be wondering, hey, how am I supposed to build some of these? All right. So first, Solitaria, to me, the scariest one against my personal playstyle, and the only thing is not a lot of people actually have this unit. Like this unit, actually no one has. You know, some of the other units, like we used to say Mediator, not a lot of people had. So I'll tell you, I don't think almost anyone pulled for her because no one really cared much for her kit. She always had like an okay kit. She just never shined in any way that would make me want to like pull. And unlike Mediator, she's not like a fan favorite or anything. She came out right after Ida, and Ida was kind of like mediocre. So it's one of those things that's like, not a lot of people have her. So yeah, that part, as much as not a lot of people have her, not a lot of people have her. But as far as the updates they did, first with S1, they completely changed how it works and just made her significantly better. Before it used to be when she had the buff, she would use the AoE attack, right? She essentially was a Dizzy. The way they made her now is they made the skill an extra attack. Why is that important? Well, first, the big thing is that you still have the S1 that hits one target that's able to dispel, right? But when you have the J Dream, it changes, it makes an extra attack. So you'll do the S1, you'll hit one target, that will trigger this extra attack, and it will do the AoE attack that attacks all enemies and has a chance to stun. This 25% chance is like Dizzy, but because it's an extra attack, it will trigger things like Lila Violin. And if you guys don't know, Lila Violin Really, really good on her because it just gives her a flat 1,500 damage, right? The other thing is that because it's an extra attack, unlike before, it will not trigger counterattacks. Extra attacks do not trigger counterattacks, right? This will not trigger Belian, this will not trigger Violet, this will not trigger Rylet, right? Well, if there's a counter Rylet, which there's not many, but it essentially won't trigger counterattack type units, which is pretty impactful, right? Because she used to lose pretty hard to Violet just because of this, even though she's supposed to counter him. So this just made her significantly better at her role of a control unit that does damage. And the AoE is so annoying. This AoE is actually one of the most annoying things to actually have to deal with. You pull her from Moonlight, yeah, she's really good. Yeah, she's really, really solid. Not a lot of people have her, but I've gotten to fight before her buff, and this skill is super annoying and will win games because 25% chance to stun on an AoE skill is really annoying, along with the fact that you're doing true damage. And it'll trigger Fairy Tail, right? It'll trigger the F10 artifact. Yeah, Fairy Tail for a Nightmare is the full name. I realize that Fairy Tail is also the name of the unit. Fairy Tail for a Nightmare is the name of the artifact, which is the one that I said Violin. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I meant the F10 artifact, the one that does extra flat damage. The Level Violin does not. I mean, it works on her, but it's not that good. But yeah, mainly is the damage that she can actually do because it's an extra attack. She loses super hard to Rowana now, which is really funny. She just loses to Rowana. If you have Rowana on your team, you're just giving, like, that's hard to get around for Solitaria, right? So she kind of loses to Rowana, but again, a lot of units lose to Rowana, and overall, she's still going to be really good. The other part is that she gets stealth at the start of her turn. This does mean that she doesn't open with stealth. The reason why that's important is because if you have a speedy DPS unit, like let's say Rylet, or even things like Cowrick, you can still outspeed the Solitaria because she doesn't get it until the start of her turn, right? That part is pretty important because you have to take turn 1, right? That's the big part. The other thing is that she gets Daydream at the start of the turn. Why is this important? Essentially, this is important because they'll make it so she can't counterattack and use the big AoES one. That's the only reason they did it. It's kind of a smart way to actually implement that because they probably just didn't want to do can't trigger on a counterattack, can't trigger on a dual attack. So they just ended up just doing it saying, oh, we'll give the buff at the start of the turn. So that way she only has the buff for that turn and then she loses the buff. Right, so that part's pretty nice. But yeah, the extra damage does help her a lot. So overall, I mean, it's nice, right? It's really, really good. She gets stealth. Essentially, it's really hard to take her down, and she's able to like actually survive, right? She also uses speedy bulk and effectiveness. Yeah, that's the big stats. And of course, the S3 also gives her a barrier, proportion to a caster's max health. Why is this good? Stealth and barrier makes it so you basically have a unit that is not going to be dying, right? With Stealth and Barrier, you take reduced damage from AoE skills. You're hiding from the opponent, so he can't single target damage you. You're just not going to be dying. Like Belian, yes, she can strip you, and strippers will definitely be a little bit scarier for you. But again, at the end of the day, you also do have a chance to stun and push them back, which is a lot of control, and then just keep stunning them with S1. So most likely, they're not going to be revealing you quite easily. And even if they somehow do reveal you, you get it back up the next turn. So you're going to pretty much be permanently stealthed, which is, again, it's really hard for a lot of people to do it. And hey, what's up, Abba Bears? Nice to see you. But yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's really, really good. I think Solitaria is a really solid unit. I wouldn't say she's like a meta-breaking unit. I don't think she's meta-breaking or anything like that, but she is good. Like, she's something that I use Rylet a lot, and this is generally scary to me. And with a 2 prevent system, which we'll talk about later, we actually are getting a 2 prevent system. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but next season of RTA we'll have 2 prevents, right? That's how it's actually going to be for champion and above. But yeah, with that and her, she could actually be pretty menacing because the biggest threat and the biggest counter right now is like Mediator Coward, right? Because he can just outpace you, he can cleanse, he can do all this stuff, and of course getting cleave. But with 2 prevents, you can actually make a lot more use of her. Well, once that does happen. But again, really good counter to Violet, really good counter to because she stops focus, really good counter to Rylet because she completely shuts them out, really good counter to Sissa Bellona, right? There's a lot of really, really good units that she does end up countering. So now she's like, at worst case scenario, she's a really, really good counter pick unit to a lot of these really popular units like Violet, Rylet, and just an overall really good stunner. So at worst, she'll be a really good counter pick. At best, she's going to be one of the best control units in the game. The reason being that she's able to control one unit at the start of the fight. It's really hard to take it out, and then she's constantly poking you down with the Level Violin artifact. Not the Level Violin, my bad. The F10 artifact. I realize I need to say F10 artifact, or we're gonna get confused. But yeah, overall, really good. I talked about it. I don't have her, And I'm genuinely concerned to fight against her because I do play Rylet a lot. And she's really good into Rimuru too, right? Because you can S3 the Rimuru and stun the Rimuru and waste the S2, and then Rimuru can S3 her, right? So really, really solid, right? Just a very solid control unit. On the other hand, we have Designer Lilibet. Whenever we have a control unit getting buffed or a new control unit being released, you know Smoget's gonna come out and release a good counter to her. And for this case, they are making Lilibet. So now we have Mediator Cowrick and Designer Lilibet that are going to do a really good job at keeping any type of control at bay, right? The main reason being is that they buffed. The biggest thing is arguably that you're going from 5 debuffs to 10. The only thing is that it does specify when an enemy's turn ends, right? Before it used to be for each turn, somebody's turn. Now is the enemy's turn, which in some cases is actually better because you don't have the situation where you self-cut yourself. And you're also just getting more, right? More focus whenever an enemy's turn ends, right? The other thing is that she does get increased defense when this does trigger, which will let her do more poke damage and let her survive. But the big thing is that it's 10 now, right? And it's a lot easier to actually trigger this condition. And it's a lot harder for the opponent to actually play around this. And there are a lot of control type units that this hits. This hits Ran, this hits Para. It doesn't hit Summer Iseria because it's a reduction of time of debuff. You have to cleanse bombs, right? You can't just reduce the duration for bombs. So the bombs will actually stay on the opponent, which means you can't actually do this against Samurai Sarah. But against Ran and Payra, they're both really popular. And just being able to just completely cleanse that is really nice, right? Especially because they're the biggest cleave units. The other thing is that she also still gets a 40%. So really, really good counter to Ran and Payra. Now because they get 10 instead of 5. Before, the opponent would be able to do Ran. And then if he didn't land everything, she would not get the turn, right? So this makes it with the 10, you are going to be cutting her in, right? You are going to be getting that focus. You're going to be cutting right after, which locks the opponent out and does a really, really good job at doing that. And give me a second because I wanted to put some music. Just spice it up a little bit. Just spice up the background a little bit. Hey, what's up, healer? It's been a while. But let me know if that music gets too loud or anything like that. But I'm going to put some music in the background. This one says at the end of somebody's turn. And this one's at the end of the enemy's turn. That's the one right there. Hey, what's up, Colexis? Nice to see you, man. Or call 8x7. Wow, I really just inserted your name. Terrible. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just really nice. Just essentially, focus goes from 5 to 10. That's the big thing because you're able to cut right now. That's honestly it. Everything else is just icing on cake. Like, this is really nice because you really can punish. But that's it. The big one is the focus. You can actually reliably cut Payra. You can reliably cut Ran, right? That's the two big ones. She's just a premier anti-control type unit because she's going to be getting so much more focus. She's going to be moving just significantly more. That's the big one. The other one is going to be Chloe. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It really changes nothing. She's always been just a niche PvE unit, so it's whatever. This is another one that I am in the process of building because I really do want to get my Celine built up, but I need to actually farm more Katie's to actually get a chest for her. But this unit, I'm really excited about. Oh, man. I'm actually really excited for Celine. Celine's one of those units that I'm like, yes. Yes. I've always liked her design. She's always been one of my top favorably designed units. And they just actually made her function in like a menace, right? To what she's supposed to do, right? The big thing is going to be that now her S2 blink will cleanse the debuffs before triggering, right? And the order is going to be cleanse. If you have her own artifact, it's gain attack, and then it gets gain the CR, right? So it makes it so the cleanse comes first. This puts a check on AOL. This puts a check on Celilius. This puts a check on essentially any unit that uses non-attack skills. They don't want to use it anymore. They're forced to use other skills in order to be able to actually deal with her. It's really good. I'm really excited for this one. Yeah, I'm really excited for her. Like AOL in particular, she does an incredible job into AOL and a really good job into Celilius because again, she's able to actually get stealth with the EE. So that part's amazing since she can't be locked down now. That's super nice. And on top of that, they also gave her CR push. So it actually makes her a really good counter to cleave as well because it forces the opponent to have to deal with this first, right? Oh yeah, I did hear about that, Andrew. Yeah, the new Guilty Gear. I will talk about them in a second too. There's a lot. But yeah, Celine, Beautiful. I think they did a really good job. The only part that does suck is that she does lose the cleanse on the S3 because they got moved to the S2. But she's, for like to compensate, they also gave her a barrier. Right, and the barrier is again going to be nice because barrier plus stealth plus evasion, you essentially have a unit that is going to be surviving more than that one turn. She's going to be moving forward. She's actually going to be sticking in the board. She's actually going to be more than just an S2 bot, right? It actually makes her something that can stick on the board. And even if she doesn't trigger the S2, if you give her enough speed that she outspeeds most of the opponent's DPSs, a barrier plus evasion should let her at least reach to turn 2, which essentially you're trying to stop the opponent from doing non-attack skills, right? And she does that job beautifully now, especially with attack buff and all that good stuff. Really, really solid unit. Little bit, kind of a weird one. It makes it interesting. It punishes like opponents that don't use immunity, because you get the chance to apply the bleeds, right? When the target is bleeding, you get an extra 100%. Essentially, if the opponent doesn't have immunity or follows Cecilia, and you get her to the S2, you get a free S2, and then you get to go into S3, and the S3 also reduces skill cooldown, which puts this pretty low, right? Because it's only a 3-turn cooldown skill. So if you open with S2, you go into S3, by the time her next turn rolls around, she'll actually have S2 back up. Which, like, it's whatever, right? It's whatever, right? It's cool. I know a couple of people that really like her, and you do get the fact that you can dispel two divas from the caster before the skill when using Snip Snip, which is, again, it is really cool, right? Because the S2, it really does punish opponents that don't have immunity, right? If the opponent does not have immunity and you're able to land these debuffs, that is nice, right? You're able to come in, apply the bleeds, do some damage, get a full extra turn, S3, and if you kill, which you should be killing because you're already doing this S2, you just go in for the kill, right? It is really nice. I mean, it probably won't make her see play, but for the people that would like to use her for Guild Wars for fun and for all that good stuff, she's going to be pretty decent. And Sinful Angelica, I know they're one that's going to be really nice. I honestly think Celilius in Guild Wars is not going to be as popular. People will still probably put it in lower ranks, but in higher ranks, I do see Celilius getting either moved out or the team's heavily changed because of this S3, making it so it can dispel one debuff from her ally. And she typically has very high ER. She's just a really good Celilius tank where you can just come in, S3 with her, cleanse attack brick from your team, give your team attack buff and speed buff, and then just go in from there for Guild Wars. Really good Guild Wars unit. She's always been a good Guild Wars unit, but this just very much cements her as a really good Guild Wars unit. And then Inos, it's not that big of a deal. Same thing with her. They just made her better for... better for Hans. And her, they just made her better PvE unit, right? And of course, the artifacts. This one's kind of nice. There's not a lot of heroes that can use this. They're all kind of like niche buffs, but it does make the artifacts more usable, including this one, right? It's a lot more usable than it was before. Hey, later healer, thanks for dropping by. But yeah, not bad. I mean, it's the buffs. We knew they were coming. It's nothing too crazy, right? It's nothing too crazy, but it is nice, right? It is definitely nice. Selene is the big one, Solitaria, and Dilibet. Those three are probably the biggest three meta ones that we're going to be seeing a lot more of, particularly Dilibet, because she's just able to be such a good anti-control option now, and Peyra and Rand being so popular, it's just really good into them, although they don't really do too much against Mediator. And I really do think what this patch is doing is it's putting a check on Cleave, and essentially making Mediator, aggro / booster just significantly better. Which it is what it is, right? I really do think right now Mediator aggro is probably the best playstyle in the game. Arena will be changing as well, just because there's Selene. There's a lot more ways to actually deal with AOL and with Celilius. There's Lermia, there's Selene. So people will have to change Arena defense as well. Guild Wars is going to be changing. So all the meta should be changing. RTA is the only one that's going to be very interesting, at least for the end of this season. It's probably going to stay about the same with Mediator just being stronger. But for the next season, when we get to prevents, it is going to be pretty impactful, because there's going to be a lot more options for things to do. The one is... for this one, it's just you can change it. They're just showing you because they did change some of the skill. Hey, what's up, Taysa? Nice to see you again. But all right, that moves on to the Mystic Summon Revamp. This one, I don't know how to feel about. Hey, what's up, Spinjutsu? But I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is nice, but there are so few situations where I would want to do this. Why, right? So essentially what they did is they added a pity counter to the 4-star. You are still able to pull the 5-star. It just will not harm your pity for the 5-star. if that makes any sense. So essentially they just added a 4-star pity, but it doesn't count down towards your 5-star pity. So in case of things like AOL, it is going to be nice. There is one thing with this update that I think is weird. Is the fact that for the 4-star is 110 summons, right? It's quite a lot of summons. I think they're having 3 obviously AOL uncommon. I said, yeah, like there's some, but like the big thing with this, it's like this is 110 summons that could have gone to a 5-star pity. You know what I'm saying? Like the only situations where I'm like this would be worth doing is if you are a whale and you can afford that, because it's very easy to, well, it's not easy, it's like $600 to actually spend for 110 summons. Or if you're someone that is right at pity for a 5-star and you don't want it, right? So it's one of those things that's really weird. And like the only examples, yeah, are like AOL and the new Carmen, maybe, right? She'll maybe be pretty good. But it's like, if you're doing the 4-star Moonlight summon pity, you are not working towards your 5-star pity, which means you're not gonna get the next 5-star. And right now, the rate of getting a 5-star in Epic 7 is you can get a pity guaranteed Mystic Summon Hero 5-star once every 3 to 4 months, right? That's about like the rate that you're getting a pity 5-star hero, ML hero, and usually they tend to be pretty meta changing. Think Belian, think A-Ravi, right? Think Mediator Cowrick. There's a lot of meta changing, account changing, ML 5-star heroes that you can pity. But if you're pitting for a 4-star Moonlight hero, you're not working towards this, so you're essentially giving up the amount of heroes, right? So it's like if you're doing this and you're not working towards that 5-star pity, you're essentially kind of like giving up. Instead of getting 4 guaranteed 5-star ML heroes every year, you're getting like 3 or 2. Honestly, more like you're giving up 1, right? It's almost like a 1-to-1 conversion to get a 4-star. So it's one of those things that's like, I don't know. For AOL, I might have done it. Maybe, because if you were close, like you didn't want Spez, but you really wanted AOL, she's basically a 5-star. But the only other scenario is if they release a really good 4-star that you really want, and you have 5-star pity already ready, right? In that situation, then yeah, I would probably switch to this one. And then you're saving this for a unit that you really want. But at the same time, it's just you have to accept that you're giving up. You're essentially giving up, right? You're giving up the 5-star pity. That's just what it comes down to. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think this changes much. The only thing this really helps is the whales, or the people that really are only saving for 1 unit, and like I like long-term players that really don't want every unit. But for the most part, it's just better to summon on the 5-star and just start working towards this pity. The 4-star, again, for whales, this is like a godsend, because I know people that spent over $1,000 on AOL. They're out there. It happened. That happened, right? There's actually people that spend thousands of dollars for the 4-star unit. So this is a huge update for whales, right? Like for the people that spend over $1,000 to get AOL, this is a great update. For everyone else, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you too much, right? It only really affects very specific situations, and even in those situations, you're still giving up another one. So just let that sink in. It is kind of a whale update. But again, for those people that really do want that 4-star hero, it is going to be nice. You can just be like me and not have AOL, and I get to complain about her because I don't have her. But you know, maybe one day we'll luck sack her in a Moonlight, but I have a higher chance to luck sack a 4-star hero than I do of luck sacking a 5-star hero. So there's that. But yeah, the thing is, like, they also changed some of the packs. There's still a scam, by the way. Like, the pricing on these are actually criminal. I hate how criminal the pricing for these are. Next up, Ancient Inheritance. I actually haven't looked at this too much. They showed it, and I was like, holy crap, this is a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. And I just haven't had the time to sit and just read it all. Like, there's literally paragraphs. How long is the video that they show how to play Inheritance? Like, they kind of do show, like, a quick thing. But it's going to be one of those things that's going to take a very long time for players to really come and understand. I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to probably be like the first 1 or 2 times you do this, it's going to be garbage. Like, it's going to feel terrible. Like, your guild is going to struggle. But then by the 3rd or 4th time, we should figure out how to do it. And there'll probably be a lot of videos on how to actually do it. But TLDR, essentially, from what it looks like, we are getting this on Monday. You do get a lot of really cool rewards according to what you do. You essentially get to explore this map that has fights, that has scenarios, and you kind of do this with your guild, and you kind of take down bosses. And the thing that's really cool is this. This is really cool, right? The only thing that really matters for this is going to be gear. Why is this important? Well, because now, for guild inheritance, this is huge for early game players, right? But also for late game players, it adds a challenge because the gear only gives you a very slight advantage. So there's a lot more strategy involved, but because there's a lot more strategy involved, that also means that I can go over here and let's say, I don't know, who's a unit? Let's say I want to use, maybe there's like a 3-star only fight, right? Or something like that. I could go here and I could go to, let's say I need for some weird reason I need my Oxlots, right? Well, in inheritance, he's gonna be 6-star, max awaken and everything. All I have to do is slap some gear on him and call it a day. That's really cool. I'm really happy that they did this because it lowers the requirements significantly. It adds an extra layer, but it's for late game players. It's a really good place to put spare gear, right? Like for example, let's say I want to use Kisuna. Let's say I'm out of Soul Weavers. All my Soul Weavers die, right? I can go in, get Kisuna, slap some gear on her, right? Maybe some spare gear since the gear's also normalized, and I'm actually able to use her, right? I don't have to do anything. I can have her like this. But in the actual content, she'll be 6 stars, max awaken, maximal agora. That's awesome. I'm really happy that they did that. Because it will actually let you play with a lot of different team compositions. And it makes it so it's a lot easier for players to actually test out different strategies. I think that they did a really good job. I think this alone made me really like this game mode. Because again, you can literally pick a 3-star fodder hero and it will be like maxed. Right? That really does that just expands the strategy aspect to it. And again, you will also get your stats modified, which does mean that I wonder how much it is. If it's something that's not that much, it would be a really good place to put spare gear. Like, it's going to be really nice for spare gear. Like, if you just have spare gear, just throw it on some heroes that you're going to be using, and it's just going to be really nice. At worst, the only thing that this does cost is that if there is a dominant strategy that is found, I can already guarantee you top guilds are going to be requiring you to gear units certain types of way. Which is gonna suck, right? I really hope that doesn't come to that. I hope it's something that's like you can kind of use a spare gear, and it's more about the strategy and team hero building aspect of it rather than like just being able to out muscle it with your gear. But overall, it should be really interesting. You also do get relics, so like there's even more strategy. There's things you can do, and there's rules. There's a lot of stuff that I hate reading when I can't actually test things out. So as much as I want to talk about all of this, I'm literally scrolling consistently. Look at all of this scrolling, right? It's a lot of things to actually consider. So it's just something that we're going to have to learn together, right? We're going to have to like struggle through together. And I'm probably going to have to let the guild leaders out there, good luck. This is going to be a good experience for y'all because y'all are going to have to read all this and try to understand it and actually be able to coordinate what you're supposed to do. And then for the guild members to actually, you actually have to read it as well. But yeah, it's so cool. This is so cool. Like, I don't know. I'm just really happy. I'm really excited for this content. Like, honestly, I like the dungeon exploration aspect of it. I like the fact that there's co-op involved. I don't know. I'm a big fan. But again, it could be a flop. So I'm not going to say anything until I actually test it out. And until I actually see the rewards, right? But it looks good. It looks really good. It really does look like something that's going to be really fun. Like this stuff where you can enhance. Oh man, it's just really cool. Like, right? This is cool, right? This is cool. There's a lot. It's a little too much. It's a little bit too much. On the current meta, L-Shade, no. I kind of want to see that now. I'll watch it after. I'll look at it right after we talk about the main updates. I'll take a look at that. Because I actually haven't seen that yet. But yeah, this is cool. I'm really happy with this. The pass, probably one of the best skins we've gotten in a while. I bought it. I'm going to be short on gemstones. But I actually do like Vivian, and I do use her for Banshee. So I did like the skin. I did end up grabbing it. It's a really good skin. I wish it was a unit, but it's a really good skin, right? And I might try to use her in PvP just because she looks so good. Right? Like, look, the skin is like top tier, dude. Like, it's such a top tier skin. This, I mean, it's just keep grinding this out. I hate the storyline. I hated the storyline. I hated how grinding it was. The summon rate, we'll talk about that later in a video that we'll be posting later tonight. But Vivian, probably skip. She's only really good for Banshee right now. And then Asteria, still a really good PvE unit. If you're late game, you really don't need her. So both heroes are like skippable. So there's that. And then the special side story, We're getting another side story next week. So yeah, make sure you're grinding, right? Because we're going to be getting a lot of stuff. And there's a lot more, right? This is just what we got yesterday, right? This is just the base patch. There is so much more that's not shown here. But the key highlights for this is we got a balance patch, which is cool. That's whatever. We got the adjustment, which is whatever. We got the new PvE, which is going to be super fun, and it's going to be coming on Monday. It's going to be a really good time. There's a lot. You can read through it. It's going to be really, 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 really complicated, which means it will be fun once you actually learn what you're doing, or it'll be a chore, right? One of the two. Great skin. And then we haven't talked about all the heroes and all the other stuff. But again, really solid patch, right? As far as patch notes go, it's pretty good. It's a really, 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 really big patch. It just gives you a little bit of everything, right? So it's a really, really good patch. But now let's actually read that someone actually mentioned that there was death notes about the meta. Ooh. Wait, I want to see this now. We'll talk about the other updates, but I really want to see this. Okay, let's actually read this. Let me actually stop the music for this one, because we actually have to read this. I'm really curious. Okay, so so this is like section 1, I guess you could call it, of today's stream. The next section will be talking about this, because RTA meta, as you guys know, I actually do like RTA. Not as much right now. I've actually, if you haven't noticed, life's gotten really busy for me. And also the meta was like pretty stale. So it's one of those times where I'm like, I decided to step back, you know, take a break, enjoy life while they figure out how to balance and stuff like that. So yeah, they'll figure stuff out on how to do all that stuff. But the big thing is going to be, now let's actually read this. We'll talk about this, and then we'll actually talk about the Epic 7 stream, because there are some other things that you weren't able to see in the patch notes that were on the stream, like new heroes. But now we're gonna be talking about this. This is my first time reading this, right? So bear with me as we read through it, because I am really curious to see what they said about this. This is actually gonna be really interesting. So yeah, so for like pre-word for this, if you guys didn't know, in Korea and pretty much everywhere in global, I don't think there's any content creator that generally enjoys this current meta or the direction that Epic 7 is headed, right? Because there's been a lot of power creep heroes and units, a lot of overbuffing, and the big thing right now is in Korea, a lot of the people are really upset because they're like, you're literally not balancing your game, right? It's like going down the drain. And like there's been outcry in that community for like at least a month, right? And they said that today they released an announcement talking about it. So this is an announcement. So let's see what they say about the meta. I know they added the 2 pre-bans, but I'm curious to see what they're gonna say. They're gonna say afterwards. Since Epic 7, we have been making various attempts. Hiring has led to recent situation. Will that provide? Yeah, because things like Mediator Carrick were overbuffs, right? Things like Violet were overbuffs, right? It wasn't even like they needed small tweaks, but they just did it a bunch. I've been seeing common opinions from many players of the current meta, and our thoughts about it are not much different. Improve their decision here and serve it based on data. We didn't want to put our players where they use heroes with the highest stats after putting so much in, and putting heroes they like. In particular, voices players who wish certain or more to go tame was something we could not neglect. Yeah, I mean things like think like Emma Lilius for this. It's like Emma Lilius, AOL, all those stuff. Like they tend to overbuff. Even things like Mediator, they did overbuff Mediator. The balancers made it pass only, creating imbalance of benefits between small players who had such heroes and those who did not. Yes. Again, Mediator Carrick's the big one, right? When like Solitaria and Dilibet were bad for so long, right? And even like Spess and Ken, it's been like forever, right? And like it's the same rarity, right? But Mediator is just leagues better, even though he was garbage before. This is really interesting. I'm curious to see what they say after this. But yeah, this so far, yeah, I mean, it looks like they know what the problem's about. When it comes to Royal Arena and Guild Wars, a balance seems to curb power creep since this game's launched, and they have not been doing a good job of this recently. There's been a lot of power creep recently, as much as possible. This, they tend to do a really good job with the buffs for certain heroes, but there's a lot that are not. They're applying changes to periodic balance changes. Yeah, they definitely changed the meta. We've got most. Okay. In the future, we will not improve 5-star Moonlight heroes that are not used as much. Improve the current game. Wait. So does this mean they're not gonna buff like MLK? Is this basically what this means? Am I reading this right? Do I know how to English? In the future, will not improve that are not used as much unless we confirm that it is a way to do that will improve the current game state. So that means Judge Kisa would never have gotten buffs according to this, because she didn't do an impact, and she has like no play rate. Just stats and effects of current. So it looks like they're sticking to no nerfing from what I'm reading right here. So let me see some of the other stuff that they're putting on this. Yeah, but we appreciate players understanding we're not preparing changes. Interesting. So this makes it seem like they just want to buff other things to match the current meta, so there's more options. Which is what they kind of been doing, but it looks like they're going to try to do a better job about it. Equipment. So they want to actually make it easier. Equipment sets are great too. Therefore, we improve unique effects of equip sets that are not in current mainstream meta. For example, interset heroes have been reassessed by players and usage have been increased. Okay. So they're gonna buff. Man, this is a lot. So first, wow, this is my first time reading, by the way. So if it looks like I'm fumbling, it's because I'm reading it at the same time as you guys are. So right now I'm reading this, right? They're balancing equipment sets. Graduate form a system where equipment sets are advantageous in the challenge was the result. So does that mean that they're gonna buff sets? Like attack set's gonna get a new buff? New equipment sets. So they're gonna add set. Wow. This could be really good or really bad. So, man, I don't know how I feel. Okay, the meta's really bad, right? And of course they're going with they're gonna stick with the no nerfing, right? They've said that they're sticking their guns to it, right? They're sticking their guns to no nerfing, right? I have not seen anywhere here the mention of no nerfing, right? That they said that they're gonna do more specialty changes. They're gonna change sets, and they're not gonna buff Moonlight Heroes as much. So they're basically saying that, hey, you know your MLK, we're not gonna overbuff it. And I think that they do a really good job. Like I will say Solitaria and Dilibet were really well made buffs. They actually weren't overbuffed, right? They were buffed enough, right? They were buffed to a point that makes them good and viable. I feel like those are trying to say that they're not gonna overbuff. Like Meteor Kyric was a mistake. We all know that. Robbie was a mistake, right? They overbuffed those units, right? But they're saying, okay, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna introduce other counters and just slowly buff things over time. That's what I'm getting from this. And then they're gonna try to introduce other ways to balance the game. One of such ways is they're gonna try to improve equipment sets. So they're gonna buff stats, which means we might see an injury and revenge buff, right? Because both these sets are not seeing play. So they might actually buff these, right? Because they notice, hey, people are using penetration set now. Maybe they might buff unity, right? And they're gonna add more sets in the future to current hunts. But my thing with this is like this could be either good or bad, right? It could be good because you know that's diversity. Right now, you could honestly just farm Wyvern and you'll be fine. And it's always been this way. Wyvern has always been like top, right? Wyvern has always been the most farm hunt out of all the hunts, right? It's just always been the way, with Banshee being second and now maybe Katie's being second and Banshee being third, right? It always fluctuates. But if they were to add a really broken set to Golem, that would slow progression down a lot. It would have the opposite effect of what they're trying to do here. Because let's say they add the most broken set to Golem. Like let's say this set, I don't know, gives you a 50% barrier at the start of the battle or something crazy, right? In Golem. Well, now you're forced to farm Golem to get that set from scratch, which means that if you want to build different heroes, you're gonna have to farm different sets for a long time. Which again, like, yeah, that's gonna take time, but it's like, man, right now the fact that you can do Wyvern and build most of your heroes is nice. So this will be interesting. This could either be really bad or really good. It could be really bad because again, if they're putting the best set on Golem and the other sets are still trash, and they don't add any variety, and the only set you're farming is that one set, and that one set is a 4-piece set, that's going to make it so like you're spending so long getting this set, the rest of your heroes are kind of on the back burner for that one specific hero. So that can be risky. I mean, that sounds very endgame. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. Golem meta. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to do that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know if this is the right. I think the sets are like, yeah, I'm all for this. This is great. This is fine. I do agree. Yeah, no, buff Unity set. This set sucks. Buff injury, buff revenge, right? These sets suck. Clearly they have the statistics. Clearly they know. They know, right? They know what's popular, right? It can be very easy for them to actually buff them, right? They have the stats, right? Clearly they have the stats, right? They have the stats. They can do this, right? This is fine. I think this is good, right? It makes some sets, we're already used to this. But releasing new equipment sets could make things so much more complicated. There's already so many sets. And adding more could make things A, more complicated, and B, make it more farming with terrible rates. So for you to get a working, and you've kind of experienced this, right? With penetration set, the reason why this is still so low, it's not because penetration set is a bad set. It's because it's so much easier to find speed and crit, right? Because they're both on Wyvern, that taking the time to actually farm a good penetration set takes so long, and it puts off building other units for a really long time, right? And I'm feeling that right now because I'm trying to farm things for Celine, and I have like 5 heroes on the back burner that need speed sets that I have to farm, but I also need to farm the penetration sets for the heroes that I'm actually using a lot more of, right? So it's actually slowing me down. And adding more sets just kind of adds, I'm not a fan of this. Honestly, I'm not a fan of new equipment sets, especially if they're going to be added to obscure hunts, like a golem, right? So, and I don't know how this fixes the balancing issue because it's something that's going to take a very long time. Buff golem so we can get ammo, cower, and HP set. I mean, yeah. Let me see some of the stuff y'all are saying in the chat because I've been talking for a long time. Porterski said, yeah. Did you see? Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. Maybe if everyone mentioned wanting nerfs on balance every next week, they'll change their mind. I mean, it looks like they're set on not nerfing. I think that's something that they're not going to change their minds on. And the community is really split on that. I'm not going to go into it. I've already had so many discussions with people about this in the comment sections. A little too much. I might if like I stay long enough and I go on a tangent. New set existing hunt is fine. New set to existing, that's cool, but it's just Ironsmith, I am playing Lost Ark. That's one of the other reasons I haven't been streaming and making videos as much is because I've been doing too much other stuff. Para, what makes speed, yeah. That's really good base stats. Remove built-in free dual attack chance and buff Unity set. That's a good way. Remove dual attack chance from RTA and make Unity set the only way you can get dual attacks. It would be pretty good. You know that Arnell said about the violent set? But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if they're gonna do this, they have to like buff the rates. If they are actually going to go with this, I haven't finished reading, right? But if they're going to go ahead with the sets and they don't do anything to improve the low rolls, getting 1 million blue pieces, this is gonna flop. This is actually gonna make more problems than it's gonna fix. So if they do end up doing this, it could be the right direction, but they have to buff low rolls. I cannot tell you guys, in the past 100 pieces of gear that I've rolled that were all promising, I've only been able to keep one because all other 99 promising pieces low rolled. I just have to throw it out. I'm at the level where it's just useless gear. It does not meet the requirement that I needed to play PvP at the level that I'm playing, right? And it's just, that's a way, it makes me not want to farm because it's like 1 piece out of 200 pieces will be usable and 1 piece out of 1,000 will actually be like a good piece, right? And it's just like, if they're going to add more sets that have to farm like this, that's going to put me off from farming even more and like making me not want to farm unless they buff the rates so it's easier. So instead of 1 in every 100, it's like 1 in every 20 is a usable piece and 1 in every 100 is a good piece, right? That makes more sense, right? If then it would make more sense to add new equipment. But if they don't fix that core issue first, it's just gonna create more issues. That's my thoughts on that one. But okay, let's see. Improvement and additions on PvP systems. So far, they kind of addressed some of the things, but let's see some of the other stuff this says. As well as expanding pre-ban, the battle frenzy effect will also continue to be adjusted. Such improvement will enable us to clearly respond to meta dominant heroes. For example, as excessively dominating battle frenzy will adjust to weaken the predominant meta in the short term. How? How are you going to change battle? No, I'm curious. I'm not trying to hate on them or anything. But how do you change battle frenzy to... We're already in a hyper-aggressive meta. like, you rarely ever reach Frenzy 3. Like, unless they make it so you gain defense, or like you reduce damage, I don't see how you can actually slow down aggressive meta. Or even things like Mediator. What are you gonna do? Lower the CR gain? Like, I guess that's something they could do. Maybe like when you get to Frenzy 1, CR gaining effects like drop or something. I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know how this will actually work to actually like Battle Frenzy in the past has been able, but right now like the meta's this. If you're DPS or you're Bruiser players, games are done by Frenzy 3. I have not had a game go past Frenzy 3 in like the past 200 matches. Like, what? I'm curious how they're actually going to implement this. I feel like they're just kind of throwing stuff out there. I do not know what they can do with this unless they do something crazy that it's just outside. I feel like they're just putting this to put. This one, I already made a whole video talking about this, but I don't particularly think that this fixes the problem. I think this fixes some of the problem, but it creates just as many issues. And I've said this before, right? With the 2 prevent system, because I've talked about it, right? If you're someone, well, you can, okay, with this change, let me just tell you right now, you are never going to play Conquer Lilius in World Arena. Ever. Just let that sink in. With this 2 prevent system, you will never play Conquer Lilius ever again in your life. If you have that unit, might as well take off your gear, unless you're using for Arena. Like, just let that sink in. You will never play Conquer Lilius, and that's fine, right? Because units can be broken. But at the same time, think of this from a banning perspective. First, is your overall. If you're a player that, first, if you have a small hero pool, this hits you a lot, right? Because you have a small hero pool. Second is certain playstyles are going to get more toxic. Big one being cleave and control, right? Because if I'm a cleave player, I can now ban Belian and Violet. So the opponent has to have the units to counter my cleave without having the 2 most popular cleave counter. So your odds of winning go up with this change, essentially, right? And you kind of already know that Conquer Lilius is getting banned, and Mediator and AOL. Those 3 units are going to see probably the most bans, right? Easily. I can even see the stats, and I can even show you that these units are going to just barely see any play now. Which, I mean, they were really problem units. There's a reason why they're banned so much. What the fuck? Oh, pre-ban. I was going to say, I was like, wait, she's not the most pre-ban unit. Cleavers are banning. Most people are banning. Most people are banning. Most people are banning, right? It's like mostly these 4 heroes, right? With 2 pre-bans, this is going to shoot up all the way to almost like 100, right? This is going to shoot up to like 70%, right? But the big thing is going to be, it goes back to this problem. They're not making gearing easier, right? They're increasing the requirements to play RTA. They're making it harder for certain playstyles. They're punishing things that don't have as many counters, but they're not giving us ways to build new heroes easily. So this doesn't, it fixes the problem of, yes, this unit is broken, but what happens when they release another Mediator Cowrick? What happens then? They're not nerfing. They're just adding more heroes as time goes on. Like, I hope I'm making sense. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm just rambling, right? I'm just trying to say, it's like, there's going to be another Conquer Lilius. There's going to be another Mediator Cowrick. There's going to be another AOL, right? And with more heroes added, you need more counters. And with more counters, you need more gear. And with more gear, you need better chances to get gear. But with 2 pre-bans, it creates a harder situation because it ups that, it just ups the bar a lot. I think they really just have to actually really make gearing a lot easier. They really need to reevaluate their numbers. I think they should remove low rolls and just make it mid-high rolls. I don't know how that would suck for people that are playing a long time, but just making it easier to gear, honestly. And just like why does blue gear still drop when you're crafting and certain things? Like, people don't use blue gear, right? Even purple gear people don't really use. It's so rare to get a good piece nowadays. But yeah, it is very gimmicky. It is very gimmicky. Permanent for me, a standard bans don't affect cleave unit pool at all. It's for champion. It is for champion and above. But if you get paired up against a champion, which happens a lot, you are going to be limited, which sucks. Every hero added, 1 prevent added. That's a lot. Yeah, gaming takes too long. Yeah, it just takes too long for certain things. A band can only hold back for so long is what King's trying to say. Yeah, yeah, Stefan, that's a good way to put it. A band can only do so much, and it creates other problems as well. So long-term resolve a lot of outdated characters who in 5 years the game still exists will be so much heroes that some will need to be... Yeah. Yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard. It's like, I'm not trying to say that 2 pre-bans is not the right direction. I think it is better that they do this than nothing. So I'm not gonna say, oh, this is the worst update that they could have done. It's something that needed to be implemented, but as I talked about in my video, if this is the only thing that they do, this is not gonna change anything. It's gonna make things worse in certain situations. This legit is gonna make things worse in certain situations. That's just what it's gonna do, right? Certain things will get worse, certain things will get better. It overall is an improvement, but it's not enough on its own to actually fix it. So again, I'm not trying to bash and say that this is not the right call. I just think that they need to do more on top of this and to just know that it's not a fully positive thing. Like, no one should be saying, oh, this is the best thing in the world. It's just like, yeah, like they did it, but like, was it implemented well, right? That's what I'm more worried about. This one, I'm still really curious about. But yeah, I mean, again, yes, I'm not against 2 prevents, personally. I think I'll definitely have more fun. It does suck that we'll never get to use Conquer Lilies again. But that's fine, right? She's really cool design-wise. I really like her design, but she is a problem unit, right? This doesn't really stop from problem units in the future, right? Or new problem units that pop up, right? So it's a band-aid, right? It's like if someone stabbed you and you need to go to the hospital, you need to get surgery, but they're putting a band-aid on. And yes, it's stopping the bleeding a little bit, and it's helping you survive a little bit longer, but it's still there. You still need surgery, right? You still need to, like, you know, get fixed. But I mean, it's better than doing nothing, right? It's better than just letting you bleed out. So that's nice. New mode. This is cool. I actually haven't seen this. Well, here's hero band system and features an accumulated hero band system where prevent heroes in each run cannot be used throughout the match. Wait. What? Wait, okay, this stuff is cool. I was really negative on these, but this stuff looks really cool. Wait. So does this mean that if I ban Ran and Peyra, those heroes are banned forever? And then I can ban again? I can ban more? So by the time you get to the 3rd match, you got 4 bans? Bro, this is wild. Wait, this is crazy. Yo, what? Wait, this is crazy. This looks really fun. Wait. That's really cool. This looks cool. This looks dope. This looks weird. This looks weird, but it's dope. So in theory, you're going to end up having a total of potential 8 banned units by the time you get to match 3. What the... That's really cool. That's really cool. That's cool. I'm excited to play this. This looks really fun. This looks really fun, but it looks super degenerate. It looks really good for late game. This is nice. Props to you, Smogate. This is really cool. I've been wanting more PvP game mode, so this is really cool. This one's also cool. The new one is meant to be more casual than World Arena, but more challenging than Arena. So it's like Guild Wars on steroids? Yo, wait, this is really cool too. Wait, this looks dope. Wait. This is really dope. This is really dope. This is cool. This is really cool. Okay, so half of this, terrible direction. I don't think they know there's a problem, but like it's just they're trying to find a way to actually appease it. Some of the things I mentioned are good, but if they don't improve the gear rates, it's gonna be a problem. This is really exciting. More PvP game modes. Oh yeah, I'm all for this. And they look like really unique, right? And they're definitely more late game oriented. Yeah, this is the first time that a stove comment I actually agree with. This is, woo. 3v3 battles for him to be used in Guild testing. I mean, it sounds really cool. No, this is really cool. Like, okay. So let me unpack everything we talked, like everything that this says. First half is really concerning. Why? This statement. Where is it? Okay, this guy summarized it. This line is concerning because it's basically saying that they're not gonna buff heroes based on you. So what the hell are they gonna buff? Right? Like, what does this mean? Does this mean that I will never get to use Emoken? Like, Emoken will always be garbage? Is this what it's saying? Right? That's what's concerning, right? I get that Moonlight heroes have been overbuffed, but the fix to it shouldn't be we're gonna stop buffing. What? That's just weird. Like, that's such a weird approach to saying, hey, we messed up buffing Mediator Cowrick and A Ravi. So instead of buffing other heroes to kind of match up, we're gonna not do that. And we're gonna let those heroes rot because we can't fix them. Essentially, that's what they're saying, which is concerning. The other thing that they're saying is that there will not be any new. There's not going to be nerfs. They already said that. That's something we already knew. So I'm not surprised that they didn't say no nerfs. That's really not surprising. But they're going to say they're going to add more special changes, more EEs. Although the EEs have been garbage. Some of the EEs have been garbage. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Some of the EEs have been garbage. Some of the specialty changes have been garbage, right? This doesn't necessarily equate to better hero balance, right? The problem's already there. Mediator's already there. You can't do anything about AOL's already there. C-Lil is already there. You can't do anything about them. You can try to hide it. You can try not to do that mistake again in the future. Sure, that's great. But they're still there. They're still like looking at you and being like, yo, what's up? What are you going to do? Right? You either release more power creep or nerf us. Right? So it's like, the problem's still there. This does not, like, everything they said up to here does not address that. This is really cool. This is probably like nice. Yeah, this is cool. You should improve more sets. Not too sure how that's going to change too many things. Unless they really, like, I don't think you can make units stronger with better sets and buffing certain sets, but you can't make a unit not suck with a set. Like, no matter what set you put on Elson, he's going to be garbage. And the broken heroes are going to use it just as well. Right? So it's like, you can make heroes better, absolutely. Like for penetration, it made Rylot significantly stronger, right? It made single target heroes significantly stronger, but it didn't like make a trash hero good, right? Yeah, like it's cool, but it doesn't fix the core issue. Right? The core issue is that they release heroes that are too broken for the current game state. Mediator Cowrick, AOL. I mean, you can literally look at it here. Mediator Cowrick, AOL. C-Lilius, Belian, Aravi, Rain, like all these heroes are just leagues above everything else. Like these 8 heroes are just leagues above other heroes. And not releasing broken heroes or trying to release more EEs to try to combat this, it's going to take a very long time, right? So I am curious how that's going to play out, but a set does not fix these heroes. Like releasing a set is not going to make something stronger. The fact is that they're still here. None of what they mentioned here really addresses that issue. Right? And the issue is that there are heroes that are significantly overbuffed already. What they essentially said here is we're going to try not to do that again, and we're going to add more versatility, but it doesn't really target the core problem. Right? That's my issue with this first half. Now the second half, this is fire. This is great. This is cool, right? Like I don't know, like yes, this is really nice. I talked about why there's some issues with this, but I mean, it's better than nothing. It definitely is a different spice of life. It kind of addresses this issue. And I say kind of because it's only 4 pre-bans. So let's say you ban these 4. He becomes one of the best units in the game when these 4 are banned. Same with Rimuru. If these 4 units are banned, Rimuru and Rain just become like insanely powerful units, right? So again, it's more of a band-aid, but it's better than nothing. This will be really interesting how that you can change Frenzy. Right now, the games are ending in 2 turns. So I don't think Frenzy really is going to do anything unless they do reverse Frenzy, where they buff at the beginning of the fight. That would be really cool. That would be interesting. I wonder how they could do that. Like, I don't know how you could do that, honestly. But it could be interesting, right? Like maybe making it so like at the start of the battle, maybe giving a Fallen Cecilia passive, or maybe like, I don't know, you know, there's ways, or you may be doing so penetration is down, or Camarenes is down at the start of the fight, or something like that. You don't have to play around with it. It could be messy, but I mean, I don't see how this is going to fix anything. But then this stuff is really cool. This mode looks really fun. Like this looks like a lot of fun. Because I'm at a point where, yeah, this would be really fun to do. Like, some of the best parts of Epic 7 is playing with people you know and having fun playing with different teams and different team compositions as heroes. This makes that possible because you're getting up to 8 heroes pre-ban if you get to a best. If you do a best of 5, you get to potentially 8 heroes banned, which is a lot. That completely changes the meta. That's just like out this world, like a different meta of crazy things you can do. So that's really cool. And that will actually require a lot of game knowledge. So this is really cool. And this is like, oh man, I cannot wait for this one. This one I am really excited about. I wonder if it's going to be like an arena game mode where it's like, it's not real time, which I think it should be a non-real time arena. I think this should be a non-real time arena. And it looks really cool. I think this is really cool. This, it's not going to be short term. They should just put medium and long term. They cannot do anything here. There's nothing they can do that's going to fix this short term. This, they can do, and this should be added there. And then this long term is a year. Like, it literally is going to take almost a year to like unfuck the meta. That's how bad it is. But yeah, let me see some of the stuff y'all are saying again. They want to buff RGB stuff. How's the increase that buff am going to help that much? You better should nerf these OP low. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Persona, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how that's going to change anything. Today's Heroes usually that will allow penguins to generate during hunts. Rex, that would probably be one of the best changes. Please let me get more penguins, more catalysts in hunts. That would be amazing. Introduce a pet that lets me do that. You know, that'd be really cool. But I've seen on Rima, everyone wants to use their PvE or PvP. Raise, it's not just Rima. There's also the fire one. Who else? There's some SCs that are, usually SCs are decent, but they don't really do too much, except Pillis. I will say Pillis is a really good unit. Pillis actually, it's something I need to actually work on. She's actually a really solid unit. But like, he's viable. They're PvE, which is nice. This is PvE. The buffs are nice for Guild Wars, so I will say that. PvE, she was buffed, and she was really strong. Really solid. Not really useful. Falling off. Not really useful. Really solid, actually. And sucks. I mean, it's usually like, it looks like the alternate, and there's not that many, right? So maybe I don't know how it looks. And there's a lot of really good 3-stars, so I could see that helping. Yeah. Attack defense with a bigger OP. I mean, it could be interesting. Sense rather than the base. I'm assuming they mean the buffs will be in a way that makes sense rather than on a basis the unit isn't seeing play. Doesn't mean underutilized sims will be buffed. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm hoping. It's just, I can't like, of course, there's going to be mistakes, and we might be reading too deep into this. Stop buff doesn't shorten the gap they already did. Yeah. But they smile in the dark because they know I can't reach their levels again. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's my only problem with everything they said. It's like, that they're not going to overbuff. Great. Should have never happened. This shouldn't be able to discuss. We should not be discussing this right now. But I want to point out, Belian, AOL, these 6 heroes, these 8 heroes, right? These 8 heroes were buffed or released in the past 3 months. That's a problem. How did this stuff get through? Like, you know, like, it comes to a point where it's just like, come on, Smaggy. Like, you guys know better. Yes, there should be strong units. I will say, like, yeah, we should be getting strong units, right? But they shouldn't be this strong. A good example, honestly, Lermia. I think Lermia is a really good unit. And same with Cisaline, right? I think both those heroes are extremely well made, right? So it's like they can do good heroes. Why do they do this stuff at the same time? Like, it just really makes me, like, it makes me itch my head, right? Because it's like, why? Like, you clearly can make good heroes. Like, Lermia is a really cool hero. She does a really good job of what she does, but she's not overly oppressive. Same with Cisaline. Yeah, she's oppressive in the right situations, but that's what makes her fun and interactive. And then the buffs is like even Solitaria buff, right? Solitaria is a really good unit now, without particularly like, yeah, am I gonna hate fighting against her? Yeah, but am I gonna be like, I hate this unit as much as I hate Mediator Cowrick? Probably not, right? She's not actively, but like, oh man, some of these heroes are just like out of line. Let's just put it that way. No, yeah, but it's just, it's just let that sink in that these units were buffed or so it's like yeah. I feel like I'm beating the dead horse too much. But again, just to summarize this, essentially what they're saying is we're not gonna make a broken ML 5-star hero or Ober buff a hero again. They have said that in the past. They kept up for 6 months and then they went back against their word. So again, I mean, it happens. You know, they lose direction. It happens. I'm not gonna blame them too much for that. Doesn't really do much right now. But I mean, it's nice that they're at least seeing it. They're going to try to make more RGB options to counter the meta heroes. But again, that's going to take a long time, right? And this stuff, this is nice, yeah. Doesn't really do anything right now, but it is nice. And then this could be more issues than anything. So, I mean, it's like, they're definitely trying. It's not an easy issue to fix, right? Especially because they are sticking to their guns, right? They are saying that they are sticking to the no nerf policy. And to stick to that, there's a lot of things you have to play around. So, that's fine. I'm not, all right, I need to stop or we're going to be here forever. And there's still so much that we have to talk about. Like, there's a lot of other stuff. But yeah, this does nothing against these 8. These 8 will probably meta for a very long time. Like, I could see maybe Para and Ran falling off a little bit because of Celine and Dilibet buffs. Like, I could see these 2 falling down. But like these 6 units are still going to be some of the best units in the game, right? Even with the 2 pre-ban system, you ban 4, right? Which leaves open like 2 or 4 of them. But I mean, it's at least something. They're trying. I don't think it does too much. Let me see what the stove comments are saying. You know how it is. Yeah, I mean, this guy. Whoa. Stove is actually saying, whoa, what is this? Stove is actually speaking like facts? Wait, okay, usually Stove comments give me like headaches, but this is the first time where like the top 2 Stove comments, I'm like, dude, why are they actually spin? Wait, are Stove people getting smarter? We're trying to improve comment. This is also true, yes. Proof. Yep. Dude, what the bro? Okay, stuff is actually okay. I know I hate on Stove comments, but this is actually like, dude, this is actually like the first time Stove comments are actually making sense. Like they're pretty much saying what I said. I like seeing that set breakdown just to see how broken speed set is. Oh yeah, this really does show speed, and I mean that's what everyone farms. This is getting phased out. I can guarantee you this used to be higher than this, and it's probably been changing. But this stuff it's legit just because everyone farms Wyvern. Like 3 out of the 4 top sets are Wyvern sets, because that's what everyone farms. I have no idea. This is because it's free sets. I expected this to be higher. These 2 actually. This one, yeah, it's a little bit niche. But yeah, you can see the drastic drop off in all the other sets. Penetration should be higher over time. It just takes time. It takes time, which is why I don't think new sets is a good idea. Man. Okay, I'm gonna stop reading Stove comments because you guys didn't come here to read Stove comments. But I will have to say that this is probably one of the better times. That Stove comments are actually not bad. They're usually terrible. But this is the first time that I'm genuinely like, wow, Stove comments like addressed almost all the stuff that I said. Wow. Maybe I'm thinking like a Stove. Am I thinking like a Stove person? Oh no. This is my villain arc. But again, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, no nerfs. Yeah, they're sticking to it, which I mean, respect to them. They really are sticking to their guns. I'm actually genuinely impressed as them as a company to stick their guns to that. I gotta give them props for that. But that is gonna conclude the second part of the stream. So we've talked about the update patch that dropped yesterday. We talked about this that someone notified that came out. Really cool new game modes coming in the future. I'm excited for those. Right now, it looks like a sleeper meta, at least for the next month or 2. But once we get the 2 prevents, it should be a little bit spicier. Should be a little bit funner. Cool changes. You know, the equipment sets, buffs. I'm curious to see how they're gonna do that. No idea what they're gonna do. Everything else just looks like they're not really gonna do anything different. It's just they're gonna try not to F up again, right? Which I don't know how that's gonna happen. But all right, that takes us to the third part of today's stream, which is going to be new heroes. So there we go. New hero time. And other updates. So let's actually pull up the Epic 7 stream. Because they did not put a lot of the stuff that they talked about in the Epic 7 stream. So we're gonna go over it, right? We're gonna go over the stream. If I can find it. Oh man, I clicked the wrong thing. Are you kidding me? It's an ad. You can't even put your actual. Okay. So the stream they didn't show a lot. First, let's talk about the heroes, right? So let's look at heroes first, and then we'll talk about other stuff, and we'll conclude with the other stuff.
Watch and learn, kitten.
Okay, let's put music back. We're back to chill time. That was serious talk time. That was serious discussion, because that I mean, generally it's like something that's like, hey, they're competing with their own game, which is Lost Ark. Like a lot of people are playing other games and picking up their gachas. But yeah, let me know if y'all can hear the music and stuff like that, so I can play the quotes for you guys as well. If y'all can hear the music, let me know. And I know there's like a little bit of a delay between what I say and what I hear, so just let me know. I think there is. Wait. Okay, that is fine. I think. Okay, but let me see some of this. Let me see what y'all while it catches up to make sure I can hear the music and stuff. Let me see what y'all are saying. They want PvP diversity, but no nerf policy to stop them entirely. John Ender, yeah, it's gonna be really hard for them to actually have a PvP balanced environment without nerfing. But I mean, they look like they're gonna try at least different things. We'll try to see down the line if they change their mind about it. I think there's good for Game of the League and not for gacha games. CJX, yeah, I mean, we talked. I've talked about way too much. It's already been like 3 videos about nerfing and no nerfing, and I've replied to almost every comment in those videos. And I've made polls to see what people think, and it's a 50-50 split, right? So it's clear that no one's gonna be happy no matter what they do. So going different avenues, I don't fault them for that. That is fine. That they're trying. I mean, they are trying. They're sticking to their guns. We just have to accept it, right? Gear issue of M7 gets way worse if faster units go and are relevance. Nerfs will make consistently changing meta even worse. Chris, I do think that gearing is one of the biggest issues in this game. That's something we agree in. The other one, I don't particularly agree with you. But again, we talked about it for way too much, way too many times. But I do think that gearing needs to get easier. If they're going to introduce all these changes, they need to make gearing easier by just increasing the RNG of things, right? They need to. Low rolls are actually some of the things that make me the most mad, because it's an even 25-25-25 spread. I think they should make low rolls either non-existent, so it's just mid rolls, or heavily favor higher rolls. So you have to be really unlucky to get low rolls. That's what I personally think. Madison said pretty much, why not Riley? He's literally useless. I mean, yeah, Retro, their still comments are terrible. Hey, what's up, Natsu? Nice to see you. Every game with PBS needs balance changes, buffs, and nerfs. That's fair. I don't know if I had researched my 400 GS units because of some crybaby master or loose match. But I don't know if I had to research. If I had to research? Chris, do you mind re-typing that? Are you saying like re-gear? Oh, re-gear. Okay. Thanks for clarifying. I mean, yeah, but the thing increases with upper buffs. That already happened. You know, it's like we can't even. Oh, man, I wanted to just have fun. Okay, before we move on to the fun part, which is the new units and then like the other stuff that's coming, to kind of wrap this up, we talked a lot about buffing and nerfing. The reason why I'm talking so neutral right now is because I have seen both sides, and both sides are very entrenched in what they want. And there's no changing either side's mind, right? So to me, it's just not worth discussing. Also because they already said they're not nerfing, right? So there's zero reason to discuss the no nerf policy, whether we need it or not, because they already made it clear they don't want it, right? We can always ask for it in the future, right? If things don't work out, but I'm trying to stay neutral. If you guys know, I am open to nerfs. I'm more on that side, but I also see the other side. So I'm trying to stay neutral. The fact is, it's not going to happen. And that's it. That's kind of like the end of the discussion. It's just not going to happen, right? But they do need to make gearing easier. I think that's something that everyone can agree on, and we'll sit it at that. Gearing needs to get easier, and they need to do a better job of not overbuffing, right? I have no idea how they do this because they already overbuffed. No clue how they're going to balance this without the nerfs. We'll have to time will tell. 2 pre-bans should help a little bit. But if 2 pre-bans and they don't release a mediator unit in the next year, then yeah, the issue will be fixed. It just means that these 4 units will be permaban for life. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But again, it depends. It'd be like that. Yeah, it's all league music. But yeah, it's just gearing. It's just gearing. That's the one thing, whether you're on the no nerf side or you're on the nerf side, the one thing everyone can agree with is gearing in this game is ass. So all we need to do is fix gearing, make units not suck, but not overbuff them, and slowly we'll get back to balance. Slowly. But the correlation needs to be there. Yeah, I agree. The new balance patch was really good. Yeah, and that's what they're saying they're going to do, right? But again, we've beaten this horse a little too much. Let's move on to the next section. We already talked about this too much. I feel like I need to drink water. But now let's actually move on from this to the actual new heroes. But alright, let me drink water and then we'll talk about the new heroes. But our new heroes. First up, Bad Cat Armin.
You and I are worlds apart.
I actually haven't heard her quotes. Her voice actor is really interesting.
Of this show, the winner of this tournament is going to be me.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I hate these type of characters. Like just design-wise, I'm not a fan. I know a lot of people like this. This is probably one of my least favorite design-wise unit that they put out in a while. I've just never been a fan of like the cutesy animal-looking bad look. I just don't like this archetype of design, and that's just me though. I know everyone's has their own taste, but like Crimson Armin is fine, but this is a little too much for me. It's not one design-wise, not one of my favorites. I know there's people that like this. Which is why I'm not trying to hate on it too much, but it's just not my type, dude. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like this whole like anime, cutesy, kitty looking, whatever. Whatever. We're moving on. We're moving on. We don't always pull for a design. But okay. Voice acting is interesting too. But okay. As far as the skills and the first stat line, right? She's a 4-star. 4 stars. The problem with, well, not problem, but the thing about 4 stars is they do have subpar stat lines. She surprisingly doesn't. But it also makes her kind of useless in certain situations. We'll talk about, there's actually very clear weaknesses that she has. So first stat line, almost no attack. Pretty decent health. Pretty decent defense. Pretty decent speed. No crit damage, no effectiveness, right? Decent bulk stats. Almost looks like 4-star knight substats. This is something that I would almost expect a 4-star knight to have, but she is going to be a warrior. So as far as heroes go, it is a little unique, and she does scale its self-imprint crit rate. You're starting to see why this is a little weird, right? She gets self-imprint crit rate, but has very low attack, good defensive stats. So you might be thinking, maybe it's a bruiser. So let's see the rest of the skills. Or let's actually see the skills. All right, first S2, this skill's really good. This is if you're pulling for this unit, it's because of this skill. This is a really cool skill that's gonna be really annoying, but at the same time somehow balanced, right? Why? You're getting as a pain leveling. Yeah, that is true. I like foxes, not cats. How do you like me? I don't like it. I don't like it. I am a fake weeb. I gotta admit, y'all called me. I'm a fake weeb. Y'all all right. But okay, this skill, if you're pulling for Bad Cat, oh my god, even the name, dude, why? I actually hate this. Okay, it's fine. Bad Cat Armin. This skill, if you're pulling for her, is because of this skill. The Catch'em. After being attacked, it goes up to 33, 35, it goes to 40, I'm pretty sure. 40% chance to give increased hit damage of the ally on the front and makes a counterattack. Cannot be triggered by extra attacks or counterattacks. That's a pretty important distinction. But it gives crit damage buff, ally counterattack. Another important part of this, not once per turn. So this is not a once per turn skill. This can trigger multiple times in one scenario. So what does this do? Well, essentially, what this is going to be doing is if you have a Stenib in your front line and you hit Bad Cat Armin, right? If you hit this unit, there's a 40% chance that Stenib will get a C damage buff and counterattack you and hit 2 of your units. That's a lot of damage. And you can't hit stun it, right? Think something like Arch Demon Mercedes. You don't want to hit Arch Demon Mercedes. But now, if you hit Backcut Armin and you trigger Ameru, the Ameru gets crit damage buff and counterattacks and does her S1, S2. That's really annoying. That's really, or Belian, right? Even Belian, right? That's really annoying, right? That is really annoying. Even in anti-cleaving, right? If you put a Belian and they hit you, this triggers, you have a Belian, that Belian's gonna be slapping with crit damage buff. Oh god, dude. Just blow a laser at them. Oh my god. It's scary, right? It's a really good skill, right? But it also has its counters, again, because if you put a unit in the front line that can be targeted, this skill is useless. The second that frontline unit is gone, this skill becomes useless, right? But while it's up, it's also pretty RNG. It's 40%. It's one of the highest counterattack ratios. I don't think there's... Yeah, this is actually the highest counterattack ratio skill. 40%. I think this is the highest counterattack skill in the game. It can trigger off of dual attacks, so that's cool. But not extra attacks and counterattacks. I think actually dual attacks might count as extra attacks. They might have messed up, but it looks like it can trigger off of dual attacks. But that's the main reason you'll be pulling for her. It has its weaknesses where you can focus the front and the unit dies and they're gone, or you just one-shot her, or you get bad RNG and this never triggers, right? If they change gearing, then I could accept nerfing units. Thanks for addressing my comment despite not agreeing. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I appreciate it, man. I'm happy that you... Sorry for commenting back. So no, you're fine, bro. It's fine. I like the discussion. I mean, I've read a lot of different comments about it, so... But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a good skill. It's the main reason you're pulling for her. It's a really good skill, right? It's just a good skill. Yeah, they put it on Landy. Yeah, that will slap. This Landy is gonna slap. That Landy is gonna be doing dummy damage. But now let's look at the rest of the kit, right? Let's the rest of the kit. Hold up. There's a S3 that's an AoE attack that grants increased speed to a caster and a barrier, and the damage increases proportion to a caster's max health, right? So it kind of makes sense why she doesn't have attack. She's a bruiser, right? Her damage based on her health, right? So it makes sense, right? Why she has low attack, and it makes sense why she has crit damage, right? I mean, decent poke damage. Gives increased speed to herself, lets her cycle, and gives her barrier, which again we've seen from Mediator. You should never think a barrier is not good enough. I believe this is a single target damage skill. Yeah, it's a single target damage skill. It does decent damage. I don't think that's what she's there for. And then there's this one that's an AoE attack that inflicts injuries up to 5%. Damage that increases proportion to us, again, based on health, proportionate to the damage dealt, up to 5%. But it has to be during her turn, it's an AoE attack. So, okay. Let's unpack the whole kit. Overall, aside from her S2, the rest of her kit is pretty mid. It's not like broken, but it's pretty mid. It's not bad either, right? It's not broken, but it's not bad either. Aside from her S2. Her S2 is like the main point. The main place you would use this is Guild Wars, I would think. And against AoE. Oh yeah, Tico said, yeah. All right, thank you for correcting me. Tico said, yes, that is true. But as of 50%, yeah, we count the dodging. Yes, the not AoE in S3. Yeah, S3 is going to be single target. Yeah, that's what I imagine. It looks almost AoE. Same thing with Solitaria. Solitaria and her look AoE, but they're single target, and it always messes me up, like the animation. But overall, the kit is pretty mid. I don't think she's there to do damage. It is nice that they gave her some poke damage, right? I'm not gonna say that that's not good. She's definitely getting poke damage, right? And that will definitely add up. The injuries definitely will add up, especially if you're getting to that 5% every turn. Even if she's just doing 5%, that's still doing its job, right? It's still being annoying. It's still poking the opponent down. It's still stopping some healing. It's still stopping things like Erotic. The biggest selling point for this unit, though, is going to be this S2, right? This is the S2 that's make or break this unit. The only units off the top of my head that I think this is really good on are going to be Archdemon's Shadow and Stenit, with Stenit probably being the best with this skill. Why? Stenit can't be hit, right? Without AoEing, right? So this will trigger, if they do an AoE attack to hit Stenit, that means they're hitting backcut Armin, which means that there's a really good chance your Stenit is going to be counterattacking, hitting two enemies with critical hit damage. Well, that is very threatening. That is very scary, right? And especially if it's a lifesteal Stenit, then it's a lifesteal counterattack Stenit, basically is what you have to think about. That you can't reach until you kill this unit, and every time you're trying to reach, this will make the Stene attack and trigger and get a lot of damage in, right? So this with Stene is a very scary combo. And the big place I could see her, I don't see her as a slap all unit. Because again, the rest of her kit is pretty mid, right? Her kit is not like a broken strong kit. It's just okay. So I think it'll be a very, very good counter pick unit, particularly for AoE teams. Because if you have an AoE heavy team that's forced to AoE, they're going to be hitting her. You have higher chances to trigger it. It's going to do a good job there. So it's a counter pick unit to countering AoE teams or to counter heavy single target teams. So it's like both ends of the spectrum. If they have very heavy single target team, you slap her on, you slap a Stene, GG. If they have a very heavy AoE team, you slap her on, you slap any really strong DPS in the front line, GG, right? So in those two outlying scenarios, it is a really good skill, right? Very, 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 very solid skill, right? Very great, right? And what it does. But it's not like over the top annoying. But sometimes this is enough for a lot of different things. What I think this is going to be really good in is going to be Guild Wars defense and arena defense. Guild Wars defense is the one that I'm really curious about, especially for offense as well. I think Guild Wars is going to be really good overall. The big one is going to be because of the fact her S1 has injury. This is one having injuries. Injury is really, really, really good in Guild Wars because a lot of people tank defenses. That's just how a lot of Guild Wars go. So it's going to be really good, especially if you pair it up with a really strong frontline hero that can make use of this passive. But again, I can't think of any teams off the top of my head. It's a little bit unique, but I think it'll be interesting for Guild Wars. I think for Guild Wars, this has a lot of potential. Maybe with Violet would be interesting. Yeah, with Violet, it could be interesting. A Violet frontline this Crimson Armin, and then you slap on like an anti-cleave. Could be interesting. I don't think it'll definitely function. I don't know if it'll function well. So it'll be something interesting to see how it develops. For Arena, same thing. It'll be interesting to see how it develops and how people actually choose to use her. Although, we still have Lermian. For RTA, very good counter. I think overall she's a decent unit. I think she's in a good spot. I think she's quite balanced, but also pretty good in her own right? I think it's not broken. She's not a broken unit, but she's very unique. And I like that. She's a very unique unit. Yes, you can stack with the Corset. I think they did that on purpose. I'm pretty sure. Champions Trophy will be pretty annoying on her. I do agree. Not AOL level broken. I think it's a fun MO 4-star. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, she's not broken. Yeah. Would not be a viable counter to her. Well, actually, I guess I could throw Milim or Rimuru. Yeah, Roana's not the greatest counter because single target damaging heroes paired with her, Roana doesn't do much. So like if you have this with Stene, your Roana heal is not doing anything. The Stene is going to be eating your team alive, right? That's a really cool team composition. Well, that will be pretty strong. Yeah, can be counterattack. Can it bypass the can't be counterattacked mechanic? Snowfield, that's a really good question. Because it's not really a counterattack, right? It's a skill counterattack, which is really interesting. It's the first of its kind. The answer is I don't know. I really don't know. I want to say no because I don't think Troublemaker. I think it works like Troublemaker Corset, where it's a condition. So if it works like Troublemaker Corset, which is the closest thing we have to this, no, it will not bypass cannot be counterattack skills. It is still. I think it's still counter as a counterattack. Yeah, it's still counter as a counterattack. I'm pretty sure. If I go to this too. Yeah, it makes them counterattack. So yeah, I think Landy will still bypass that. I am pretty sure Landy and Stene will still bypass this. Because it's like Tico set, right? Tico set's like when the back allies hit, trigger. So it's similar. So I think it will bypass it. Second of all, yeah. It'll get past it. It'll get past it, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure. But we'll have to test it. Because it's not a skill, per se. It's like Tico set. Is it a skill? We're not in UC. Because skills do get past, cannot be counterattacked. No, it doesn't trigger as a skill. It's just like a passive. Okay, it probably registers as a counterattack. But overall, I mean, she's a balanced unit. That's great. We need more balanced units in the game. Nothing wrong with it. Unique. Strong in certain situations. Really cool team composition building. I think she'll be a cool unit. I think it's a good addition. Is it something that I use a 4-star pity on? Probably not. We talked about how I don't like that, but I think it's a good thing. Race, to answer your question, I think it's cool that they're adding more MO 4-stars. But it is weird that they never added Furious. I mean, it's something that had to happen because they've slowed down 4-star releases. We are not getting a 4-star release since Furious. Furious released 2 years ago. That doesn't count. We have not gotten a new 4-star hero since Furious, which happened 2 years ago. So it'll be like that. So does that mean you won't get the crit damage buff? I feel like you'll get the crit I don't know, dude. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like you'll get the crit damage buff, but you won't counterattack. That's a really interesting interaction. It'll have to be tested. Which is how I can't say with 100%. But okay, that's her. Overall, if you get her, she's not bad. If you don't get her, it's not the end of the world. She's definitely fun. She'll definitely be a really fun unit to play around with. But okay, the other one is actually going to be her. This unit I am really excited for. I've been wanting a unit like this for a very long time. I am really excited for this unit. Me personally have been wanting a unit like this for a very, very, very long time. Right? Because you guys know I love Rylot.
If you can't accept it, let's just fight it again.
Right? I really like Rylot. I really like heavy single target. This unit is like a wet dream for single target damage players.
I'll put an end to this. Ultimate.
Wait. Is this a Ken Siege? I have not done the new... Don't hate on me. I have not done the new episodes. I'm trying to wait so I can binge most of them. So I have no idea if she's shown up in the story. But is she Ken's teacher? Like Emo Ken and Red Ken? And yeah, is that shocking? Yeah, I am pretty sure Furious was the last one. Like non-Moonlight, of course. I think he's the last one. Yeah, they haven't added 4-star heroes. 4-star heroes, there's more 5-star and 3-star heroes than there are 4-star heroes. And there's about to be more MO 4-star heroes than there are 4-star heroes. We've known this. 4 stars are not in a good spot right now. It is Ken's teacher. Okay, that's cool. I really need to go and bench this. Oh, nice. The only reason I noticed is because of the S3. And the quote, that's the same quote that Ken says. And Emo Ken says. They both said ultimate. Okay. Okay, that's cool. And it's exact same animations too. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad I was able to tell just from the animation.
안녕? 난
Okay, but as far as Kip, style-wise, she's okay. She's a cool unit. So far, okay, I haven't liked the design of any of the episode 4 heroes. I do not know if I'm the only one on this boat. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I just personally have not, like, even since Ran, from Ran to now, I have not liked the design of any of the heroes. I can appreciate the animations, but like I haven't felt a connection like I did to like episode 2 and 3 heroes. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe that's just my taste. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe you guys think it's fire. Maybe you guys love the designs. But me personally, I haven't been excited to pull for a unit because of the design since like... Who was a 3-star hero? Senya. Senya was probably the one I wanted the most design base wise. I really like Senya for an RGB hero. Yeah, it was Senya, which is pretty... It was right before episode 4. And there was other ones. Like, Politas I actually really liked. Not even... I don't like Aruka that much. Oh, MLs? Oh, dude, MLs? I love ML Lilius. ML heroes are always fire. Bro. Okay. ML... I'm saying episode 4 exclusives. ML heroes? Dude, I think... Not ML Sermium, but ML Lilius looks sick. I love Belian. Like, her design is gorgeous. I love Belian's design. I love Conquer Lilius. I like Ciceline. There was a dark one that was recently released, wasn't there? Yeah, I really like Conquer Lilius. I really like Belian. Who was before them? It was Lermia, C. Lilius, Belian. Yeah, but I really liked Celios. Celios was like amazing. I was really happy to pity for her. Well, I'm not happy that I had to pity for her, but I was happy about the design. Line art was okay. I wasn't that excited about her. I don't know. Her skirt's too short. I know that's weird to say. I like the paladin type thing, but it's just a weird design to me. I don't like it, but I don't know why. I just haven't been liking the new designs of a lot of the new heroes. I don't know, man. I like Senya a lot. I like the other heroes. Sahak is the closest one to being like, okay, this unit is like right down my alley. I actually kind of did like Sahak, so I take it back. Sahak is just Kayron basically. Sahak is very similar looking to Kayron. I really like Celine too. Celine's probably one of my favorite design characters. Para was okay too. All right, but we're moving off topic too much. But yeah, TLDR, I haven't liked the designs as much recently as I had with other heroes. But maybe just because I don't like the aesthetics. Oh, SC Phillips was good. I like SC Phillips. Oh, Closer's design was not great. But okay, let's move on. Let's actually talk about the kit. It's a really cool kit. I am excited to pull for her because of the kit. The kit is incredible to me. Oh yeah, the new 3-stars are pretty cool too for this one. And the 3-stars last were amazing. Like Camille and Penelope are just great looking heroes. Okay, so first stat lines. She has a pretty good solid stat line. Like this attack, one thing to know is this does include her passive or part of her passive. So keep that in mind that this does include part of her passive, but it's still really good attack. The health and defense are actually really solid. And the speed is a little bit on the slower side. Like standard, it's like 115 to be like, okay. Fast is anything 120 or higher. 109 is a little bit on the it can get fast, it can be pretty fast, but it's not going to be able to compete. Like it's not going to easily outspeed a lot of other heroes, right? You have to actually build speed, but really good attack, HP, and defensive stats, right? And attack self-imprint, which adds on to it. But as far as the actual kit, so S2, her passive, gives her 35% attack. This is included in her base attack. So this is included here. That 35% is already included. So if you're wondering, does she get 35 on top of this? No, this is including 35%. It is not including the rest. It's not including this 5, 8, 11, 15%. It's not including 15%, but it is including this 35. It's the same thing with Summer Asteria. It was the same scenario there. So just know that it will add more. Really, really good stat line, right? As far as that goes, gets attack, gets even more attack from here when you actually get her. So that's good, right? Very solid stat line. Another one is that she cannot trigger a critical hit, right? And usually this is pretty standard on heroes that can't critical hit, that will get this attack bar. But the other thing is that she also has a built-in adamant. This is a really, really good passive. Because A, no crit easy equals usually easy build. It is really easy to build these type of heroes. There's very little stats you actually need to get. When you take off crit rate and crit damage, you can just focus on other stats, and she doesn't particularly need HP either. She's legit just speed and attack, right? That's all she realistically needs is speed and attack with defense tertiary, right? That's really easy to build, right? Because you're taking off a lot of the required stats, no effectiveness, no FRS. That makes it easier to build, right? It's weird to get the gear. It's awkward gear to get, but it is really easy. Well, you have to get good speed gear, but overall it's easy build. The other part is that she also does have this built-in damage mitigation, which will let her survive longer. The other part is that at the start of the battle, or at the start of every turn, she gets a barrier proportional to her attack. And this is why I say she doesn't particularly need more HP. I think defense would be nice to let her survive longer, but you get a thick barrier based on your attack, right? It's not too thick, right? It's not a barrier, but it is for cycling, and she does have very high attack, right? So again, you're getting a nice little barrier. Probably gonna be like a 2-3k HP barrier. Think carrot, right? Think a carrot barrier. She gets a carrot barrier every turn. And she gets Carrot's passive, but stronger and all the time, versus Carrot only gets it when she's above 80%. So again, really, really good, really, really solid passive, right? And that's just the passives, right? Now we get to the S3. When I first read this S3, I was like, dude, no way. No shot. No shot. The more I read it, the more I was like, this is a crazy skill. So first, full cleanse. Of course, if she's silenced or stunned, she can't trigger it, right? As it usually is, except Mediator got bypassed this. It's a single attack skill that then gives her immunity. And this skill, unconditional full penetrate targets defense. There is not many of these in the game. And this one is based on her attack. And it gets stronger when the difference is higher, up to a maximum of 100%. So this is why I said she doesn't want health. She wants defense, right? So this is nuts. Hey, what's up, AJ? It's been a while. But this skill is really good. I know we just did the best single target damage dealing heroes, but this could potentially make her nuts, right? And let's look at the damage that they actually showed in the match, right? Because you can't crit, right? So again, you can get really high attack, and it does get extra attack, and the soul burn gives her extra turn. But on top of that, you're getting immunity, and you're also dispelling debuffs. So this is an attack buff, right? 17k HP, and she's hitting a, let's see, that Crimson Armin. Let's see about how much health she is. This Crimson Armin is probably around 23, 24k HP. So this did almost 20k true damage with an attack buff, right? 20k true damage. And this is counting Crimson Armin's 15% damage reduction. And the HP differential is not that high, right? Like, this skill gets stronger when the HP differential is smaller, right? Like, the HP differential, when it's larger, it does more damage. It's irrelevant, right? It's literally irrelevant. On this clip, with attack buff, you're doing 20k true damage through the 15% damage mitigation from Crimson Armin, and I'm pretty sure this is not the max HP differential that you can possibly get. So in theory, this S3, no mitigation with attack buff, we're talking about 25k plus true damage. That's nuts, dude. That is crazy. Like, are you kidding me? Unconditional damage. And you get to cleanse so they can't attack break you. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's just nuts. That's nuts. This is just nuts. Yeah, it's just nuts. It's just like, I'm reading this and I'm just like, there are so many heroes that give attack buff in this game. And yes, she can pair off with Conqueror Lilius. Conqueror Lilius is one of the best support units in the game, just because Vigor is such a unique buff, right? But with attack buff, there are so many units with attack buff. There's Amelia. There's Mediator Coward. There is Ran with Silver Rain. There is Peyra, right? There's a lot of attack buffers. It's not unrealistic that you'll get a really easy attack buff. This indirectly is a huge nerf to Rimuru and A Ravi, because this unit wrecks them hard. Hard wrecks. Rimuru, maybe if Rimuru survives, and she's fire, so you have to think about, this was through Crimson Armament. Think about this. This is through Crimson Armament's damage mitigation, and when you're fighting the Rimuru, you have elemental advantage, and we don't know what artifact she's on right now. So if you give her something like I don't know, an artifact that straight boosts damage, like Merciless Gluten, right? That just gives you like a 20% damage increase, single target. You're one-shotting Rimuru's like it's cake. You're one-shotting A Ravi's like it's cake. Right? This unit can probably one-shot A Ravi and Rimuru with an attack buff, unconditionally. It's very similar to Strasse. Yeah. She's a really scary unit. And on top of all of this, she is incredibly easy to build and extremely durable because her barrier is based on attack. So what I think is gonna, this is what I think it's optimal build for her. If you ask me what I think her optimal build is going to be, 6k attack, which is very achievable, right? Because you can give her just attack. 6k attack, 250 speed, right? So 250 speed, 6k attack, like 1.5k defense, and like 11k HP, right? Because with the barrier, you essentially have a 14k HP bruiser with a Proof of Valor passive that one-shots units. That's so good. That's so good. And you can even get the higher attack. Dude, that's just crazy. Yeah, even with Little Queen's Large Crown. Yeah, even that. But I think even Proof Remover will probably die to this. Like that's, if you ask me optimal builds, that's what I think optimal build is going to look like on her. Because her role is to try to be able to one-shot Rimuru without attack buff. If it's a 20k HP Rimuru on Proof, your goal is to be able to one-shot that with attack buff. That's like the ultimate goal. I don't know if the damage calculations are out. Let me actually see if the damage calculations are out for her. That'd be really cool if they are, but I don't think they are. Oh, they're not out yet. But in theory, again, she's gonna be really good. All I'm trying to say is all she needs is attack, defense, and speed. That is it. 3 stats. You get those 3 stats up, you have a monster one-shotter that's gonna survive. And yeah, I didn't even realize, but her S3 is on a very low cooldown. That is a very low cooldown S3. Oh my god. That is a very low cooldown S3. Holy crap. That is a very low cooldown S3. 3 turns is... that's nothing, dude. I could realistically see people putting this unit on 280 speed. But the only reason I'm not going to just say OP yet, there's one reason and one reason only. These ratios may change. And if they give her terrible ratios, she's going to be a terrible unit. Because at the end of the day, all she's doing is damage, right? She's a full damage unit. If she's not doing damage, she's not doing anything, right? So, yeah, definitely going to be a pretty good unit. And on top of everything, DS1 lets her cycle faster, so you can get to S3 faster. And when you have a buff, which you should almost always have a barrier, you also get a Uberia's Tooth passive. That's really good. That's really good. I mean, it's a really good unit. Like, I don't know what to say. It's just a really good DPS. It's arguably one of the best DPSs we've gotten in a while. That was easily accessible. She's easily better than Sahak. I can tell you that much. Sahak was pretty decent. And Sahak is really good in Guild Wars. Sahak is probably one of the best Guild Wars units right now. Easily. Sahak is easily one of the best Guild Wars units right now. But in RTA, he doesn't have the survivability needed. She does. She has the survivability needed to be good in RTA. And yes, you will have to mono the S2 and the S3. But you can probably skip the S1, although you probably will still want it because you do want to do damage. But this is probably one of the best single target DPS heroes we've gotten in a long time. And one of the better fire heroes we've gotten in a long time as well. The other thing that's really cool about this unit is that because her damage is based on non-crits, she can actually do really good into water units as well. So she's a unit that does really good into water units. So almost element neutral, has survivability, and does good single target damage. It's the makings of a great hero. About Vivian's skin, oh dude, that skin is gorgeous. But yeah, as far as her, yeah, that's her. It's really good. I will say wait for the ratios. But this unit is insane. Sahak is strictly for Guild Wars, so unless you're in an upper level guild and you like Sahak, you don't have to build him. And he's not really using RTA or Guild Wars. He's almost strictly a Guild Wars unit. A really good Guild Wars unit at that, but almost strictly Guild Wars. And with her, she's way better for RTA. And it's probably going to be just as, if not better, than Sahak for Guild Wars. Because again, it's just one-shot a unit, as long as you have attack buff. Pair this up with a C. Lilius and like a Payra or something. You one-shot something and you just wait and slowly hit the Violet. Or you just do C. Lilius, Craw, and her, and then you just smack the opponent and just win the game that way. Yeah, she's really good into Violet. Just amazing into Violet. Really good unit. Really solid unit. I assuming they don't like nerf her ratios, she's gonna be a really good unit. But yeah, as far as that's that part. But now we have even more to talk about. The new Arbiter Velvet skin. Alright. I'm gonna be brutally honest with y'all. I'm a little worried about the skin.
The world are either too naive or too innocent.
And I'll tell you why in a second.
And I'm neither of those.
So let's just watch this. This is the RB skin. In case you didn't know, this is the RTA RB skin.
Do not expect mercy. Your fate lies on the tip of my sword. Lies on the fate. Lies on the tip of my sword.
Okay, so why am I worried about this skill? Or why am I worried about this skin as far as like, I mean, it looks decent, right? It's not like the look of it is bad. I think it definitely makes base RB look really different and really unique. That part it does well. Where I'm kind of worried about, it's like compared, well, not worried. I mean, it's a good skin, but I think it could have been better. I'll just put it that way. Oh, her artifact, I didn't even talk about that. This skin is really cool, and it makes RB look like a completely new hero. But there are two reasons why I'm not super impressed, but I could be slightly changed. Look-wise, it looks really cool. But the other part that I don't like is, first, they didn't do any particle changes to this. Like, it's still the exact same S3. It's still the snakes. But in the preview, they showed dragons. I really thought they were going to go in and turn these into dragons. Maybe I'm being greedy, right? Maybe that's too... But the thing about it is they went in for Ruel. And they gave Ruel freaking wings on her S3. They gave Violet little flowers when he did his his new S3. So like they have done particle changes, but I don't see any for RB. They did my boy RB dirty.
Fate lies on the
like,
tip of my...
you see what I'm saying? Like usually they add a slight extra effect. Even Stene, I don't know. Stene just really needed the skin, but I don't know. I feel like it could have been more. The other one, and this one could change.
Lies on the tip of my sword.
It's the S3 quote. It's the S3 quote. I am worried they took off all his S3 quotes. If he doesn't have Descending Blade, this skin is garbage. I'm not putting the skin if I can't hear my RB yell Descending Blade. If RB doesn't keep that quote, we riot. We riot. We riot. We riot. It's that simple. This they did change though. At least they kept the skin. Or they did change this. But I'm a little sad they didn't make the dragons different. I thought they would. Or that they would add dragons to this S3 part. Or like add an aura. Or like add an aura to this. I mean, they could have done a lot more. For an epic legendary skin, it feels subpar. That's all I'm going to say. For an epic legendary skin, it feels subpar. As long as they kept the Descending Blade, I will put it on my RB just because it does look really cool. The base model, this looks great. This looks fine. The actual skin looks fine. Like it's a little... If you like RB's original design, this is a very, very far difference, which is pretty consistent because even things like Fallen Cecilia, she looks a completely different new unit. But things like Ruel just got better. Things like Athletica just got worse. Things like Stene, again, it's just a completely different look. He's a completely different look. I think it looks cool. I will definitely put it. But if they take off Descending Blade, if they take... Stene still has Kiss My Feet, right? So I'm holding up to hope that RB will still say Descending Blade when he does S3. Or I'm going to be really disappointed in this skin. I don't know. I hope they kept it. I don't know. It's okay. It's an okay skin. It's an okay skin. I will put it on my RB as long as they kept one of the iconic lines. Because all those lines are so goddamn good, dude. Oh, man. But okay. And then as far as the Vivian skin, for these, it's not an epic skin, so I don't have as much of a...
My power.
Wait. Is that just animation they added, or is that actually in the game? Okay, those flowers are not the animation. Okay, so they didn't really do any particle changes, it doesn't seem. Like, too many. But, again, it's not an epic skin. One thing I will say is I actually really like the skin. One of the problems I had with Vivian is I actually hated her design, low-key. I don't know if it was just me. But my biggest problem with her was this, bro. Like, what is this, bro? It's like, it's so unnaturally big that I'm generally concerned for her back. Like, in this skin. I don't know, it always felt like disproportionately large. Especially when she did the S3. Where I'm like, dude, she's gonna have mad back problems. But at least with the new skin, it looks like, I don't know, it just looks better. I don't know why. It just looks less out there. But I really like this skin. I already bought it because I actually use my Vivian for Banshee. And I've been meaning to use her for RTA. But I think they fixed a lot of the stuff that I thought looked weird. And this skin just looks amazing. It makes me want to use Vivian in RTA. I will probably find a way to use Vivian in RTA. Let me actually put the skin on her because I already have the skin. Oh, I already put it on. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like the whole sign constellation stuff they have going in the back. She does very much look like Luluka. She looks very similar to Luluka, actually. Wait, let's actually see. This is Luluka. So we have that weird ring band. We have like the star motif. We kind of have like a little blue. We have some crowning. And then here we have crown, blue motif, star pattern. Wait, this is literally just Luluka. But with, she even has this thing on the head. Wait, this is literally just Luluka. This is Vivian dressed up as Luluka. That's why I like the skin. Yeah, this is why I like the skin. It's legit just Luluka. This is a Luluka theme. This is if Vivian became Luluka. Dude, they are so similar. It's not just me, right? Like, you guys see the resemblance too, right? Or it's just me? It's slightly different shades of blue. I will say that much. But like this thing on the top, I know it's like the star motif is just so similar. It's literally Luluka. Oh man, that's interesting. Okay, that's fine. I don't know. I really like the skin. I feel like the model just looks a lot better. It just looks a lot better. Like this just looks. I just like this skin a lot more than her original skin. And Jugs, and those give me Jugs vibes. Like they are very similar. Very similar vibes as well. That is a kind of a cool lobby idea, actually. I might steal your lobby idea. I might put Jugs and her together. Because they have very, very, very cool skins. Put them on the opposite sides of each other. Dark Kise. Let me see. You mean the white Kise? Let me see now. Now I have to see Kise. Oh man, that is also very similar. It's like a Luluka mixed with Kise. The thing that throws me off is this looks like a water unit or a dark hero. That's what really throws me off. Like the blue motif, she has like nothing that would imply she's an earth hero. Like at all. But yeah, I mean, I like the skin. All in all, I think I like the skin. I like the skin. I think it's just a better outfit for her. Her old outfit is terrible. Okay, I think there's only one more thing to talk about that was actually in the stream.
Some restrictions, obviously.
So we talked about this, we talked about that. It looks like they are gonna do a Epic 7 World Cup. I wonder how this is gonna function, actually. Like, if they're gonna do the next RTS season is the Epic 7 World Cup one, or if they're gonna do this one's the Epic 7 World Cup one. But it is coming. That's cool. I always like to see games getting some support. We didn't talk about the artifact. I think it's a decent artifact. I think there's better artifacts for warriors out there, though. But we did talk about that. New rotation. We're finally getting Flower back. And we're getting Green back, which is sad. F this thing. Why is this thing still here? I don't know. But let's see. The hero introduction. The 4-star Moonlight. Coin shop. Mediator should be next, unless they keep delaying it. It should be Solitaria and Mediator Cowrick next month. If it's not, it's going to be Solitaria and something else, and then it will be Mediator Cowrick. This, really underrated, but we actually can buy Mystic Medals. This is nice. And it's per week, I'm pretty sure. Or I don't know, yeah, once per week. It's not bad. One summon a week, it adds up. It's nice. Other ones don't really matter too much. But it is nice that they lowered the price of this. That does make it more accessible. But this one's nice that they added that once a week. I'll probably definitely be getting that once a week. This one, there it is. Customizable group summon preview. This will be a video for most likely Saturday. This will likely be a video for Saturday or for Sunday. Probably for Sunday. Or I might wait for more information because it's still a little iffy, right? As far as to what we're actually getting. So I might actually save this one for a Sunday video, but there's a lot to talk about this one in particular. There's a lot of things for this one, but essentially we are getting our own choose your limited banner. You get the unit and the artifact, and you can pick 3. As you can see here, you can pick Landy and you can pick Holiday Yuffie. I'll be able to perform 3 selected summons for 3 selected heroes that you get to pick, and you get it after you finish episode 110. This is huge for early game players. I am more curious before it gets implemented. That what I'm curious about is going to be the how long do you get to keep this for? Right? This part, I hope we get to pick when we get it. Because if you don't get to pick when you get it, oh man, it's going to be really rough. It's going to be really rough. The triple banner is really cool though. I like the idea. I hope that it's something that we get to pick when we do it. That would be really awesome. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I just think it's a really great banner for new players. This is a whole video. I would recommend, if you're a new player, Landy for sure, Tama for sure, and then the third one you can kind of pick, but I recommend a limited hero since you can't get them all the time. Or a hero that you like Violet. For mid-game players that might already have Tama, that don't have Landy, you get Landy, you can get SSB, you can get the limiteds that you don't already have, right? So if you don't have a limited yet, you can get that limited hero in particular. But if you have all of them, other ones I would recommend are things like Violet, because Violet's still an amazing unit. Who's another really good RGB hero? Celine's not a bad option. Also because Celine's artifact is really good now too. Builder for the imprints, Cecilia for the imprints, anything that you would want for imprints essentially. If you have all the heroes, then it's just whatever you want for the imprints and artifacts. That's what it comes down to. If you have everything. Like for me, I would be hunting for artifacts and for imprints. So I would definitely get Celine because I want more Celine artifacts. I would probably get Tenebria because I want Stena imprints. Or Cecilia because I want Fallen Cecilia imprints. And also because Rise of Monarchs, right? And then I would pick a third one. I probably would pick Violet, right? To get more Violet talismans and to get Violet imprints, right? That's what I would personally do. Or I would do Luna to get true Draco play and Luna imprints, right? So it's very flexible, and there's definitely different considerations for different stages in the game. For new players, though, this is a godsend because new players can now start the game with Landy, Tama, and a unit of their choice. That's a godsend. Oh, Polides. That's another really good one. Polides is a really good one if you don't already have. But for new players, I would say Landy, Tama, and then any unit that they probably like. But I would recommend another limited, maybe. I don't know what other limited I would recommend, though. I would almost recommend like a Violet, honestly. Because the biggest thing that new players complain about is that they can't clear story stages. And Violet is like one of the best story stage clearers. Like for the harder levels, you just slap Violet and just win. So that's actually probably what I recommend. Landy, Violet, and Tama. Or Iceria, right? That's another really good option for early game players. But I'll think about it when it gets closer and we get more information about that. But that's really good. It's really good. Jugs, I think the thing about Jugs is she really needed to update. Face Shrine, to answer your question, I think Jugs really needed the skin update. I think I'm a little biased because some of the skins, they look like they try so much harder on. Like Royal skin, they put so much love into that skin. The Rose skin, they put so much love into the Rose skin. They put so much love into the Violet skin, right? Like you can tell what skins they put a lot of love in. And then you can also tell the skins that they didn't really try that hard. That are kind of like, eh. Like the Faithless Lytica skin, oh my god, that skin is garbage. That skin is trash. Skin is trash. But yeah, it's you can have a really good start in this. But yeah, I would say Violet. I would say for new players, I would probably recommend Landy because she's a limited hero that does everything. Tama because she's the best PvE hero in the game, and Violet or any other option if they want to pick another limited like Seaside Bologna because Seaside is also a really good PvE unit. So I would say if they're more like if it's closer to like not summer. Probably summer Seaside. I would probably do Seaside in that situation. If it's closer to summer, I would probably say another unit. Because Seaside would still probably get reruns. But yeah, that's what I would probably say. Landy for sure, Tama for sure for new players. And then for older players, it just really depends what you want to imprint. But yeah, that will be a video. But that's really cool. The reason I'm probably going to wait on this video is because I want to see more details on how long this is going to run. For players that are not new. For new players, I will make a dedicated video for them. For players that have been playing for a long time, if we only get 2 weeks for this, that would suck. That would really suck. I really hope it's not something that they'll drop next week and they're just like, yeah, here it is. Good luck. Good luck having summons for all the new stuff that's coming. But I will take the end, Polides, and a random hero that I don't have. Yeah, that works too. I mean, yeah. That also works, right? There's a lot of different approaches to this triple banner. At the end of the day, is what you want. It's what floats your boat. The last thing, I think there's one more. Where is the GG collab? I think it was also here. Where is it? I know they announced it. I know it's in the login screen, so everyone should know this. But I'm trying to look for the actual notice. Okay, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, GT Collab's back. Why am I even saying this? Because we're getting a new hero. And something tells me that we're getting a new story. I think. The reason why I say this, we're confirmed to get a new hero, right? We're getting a new hero to this storyline. We don't know who it is. Most likely is Ino or it's Ram. I don't see any other besides those two. But Ram is just Landy, so I think it's gonna be Ino, honestly. Like being completely honest with you, it's probably Ino. It's my guess. Maybe Kai. Could be Kai. But most likely one of those two. Hey, what's up, Curtis? So, yeah, it's they already said they are gonna bring back a new hero. That's coming. That's a fact. That is going to come. Right? We are getting a new hero, and it's gonna be a new limited. What that means is you want to start saving for a limited hero that's gonna have a limited banner, right? So start saving your bookmarks because you will absolutely need them to pull for the new fire 5-star as well as for the limited. I'm just letting y'all know it is coming. It's gonna happen. Be ready, right? It's gonna happen, right? You're gonna expect that to happen. Ramlethal would be really cool. I would like Ramlethal, but it's probably gonna be Kai, Jacko, but most likely I know because they already have a model for her in the game. So I think they're gonna go the lazy route and they're just gonna add Ino. Let's be honest here. They're gonna go the lazy route. They're just gonna add Ino. But again, I think we're also getting a new story because we already kind of have We already have the storyline accessible. So it's kind of weird that they rerun it with no storyline. But if y'all didn't know, you can already look at the Guilty Gear storyline, right? In the story journal. So we go here. Where's the... I actually never know where to find it. Is it in battle? Give me a second. I actually never know where to find this. It bothers me that I don't know where to find it. But you can actually look at all the past limited storylines. And play the limited storylines. And yes, I have not started this. I need to. Book of Memories, right here. Yeah, there it is. It's already here. Wait, I swore it was here. Never mind, it's not here. Wait, I feel like they added it. Am I going crazy? Or was it just last year that they added it for a limited time? Am I just crazy? I think I'm just crazy. I swore they added it. Never mind. Never mind. Should you skip Hua Zhang? I'm gonna be honest, that is a very, very hard question to answer for you. I would say, as always, you want to have enough for the limited units. You can probably skip Dizzy, Baiken, and Soul Banner, and Elfel for the new limited. Because those units have fallen off really hard. Dizzy, if you're still early game, I would recommend her still. But all the other ones are replaceable. But I don't know about the new... Because there's a new limited, man, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. I can't decide that for you. See Chronicles? Where's Chronicles? This happened all before this. It's like one of the first things that happened. Let's just show you the timeline. Wait, that's weird. I don't see the Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear Collab is actually canon to the universe, by the way. Like it actually is canon. Like, the Guilty Gear Collab is canon to the Epic 7 lore. This happened. So I'm surprised they don't include it there. Interesting. Yeah, they just added the stage. Never mind. You could play the story if you wanted. If I remember correctly. There's something like that. They map out the old ones and before Alpha gets another buff. Yeah, that's true. I think there's always that risk that they'll buff the other limiteds. But man, that's a lot. Because that means if they're adding a new hero for a new player, there's no way you get all of them. For old players, it's easy. But for a new player, there is no shot that you get Dizzy, Elfel, Baiken, new hero. That's 4 limited heroes in the span of a month. No shot. No shot. You don't get every single one. Free to play, doesn't have any of them, wants all of them, you don't get them. It's just a fact. And on top of that, they're releasing a really good hero right before it, which is the hard part. Man. But yeah. Well, that's it as far as updates. I mean, that was a lot. Usually these update streams only take an hour. And we've been here for 2. But I haven't streamed in so long that my voice is genuinely sore. I am genuinely tired of talking. Like, as far as, not like I don't want to talk anymore, but like, I tend to talk pretty loud. I don't know if I can tell. I don't know if that transfers over as much. I talk really loud. Like I project a lot. I use a lot of my lungs and my throat to like talk and like talk to you guys. And I'm not used to it because I haven't done it in so long. Like, oh man, I'm not surprised that my neighbors hate me. But I've had times where my girlfriend is coming over, and she says she can hear me from the hallway. So that's crazy. That's crazy. That's interesting. It's weird to not be able to talk. I would love to stay longer, but I am generally out of breath. Like actually out of breath. But to summarize everything, because I love summaries and I love kind of taking everything together. As far as the GG collab, it's going to be interesting. New hero pulling. I'll probably make videos on that so I can actually talk better, because right now I literally can't talk. And I feel like I would give you the wrong answer because I'm also pretty tired. So I will wait for the actual video to say my thoughts on whether or not you should pull or wait. Then again, at the end of the day, it's your account decision and what you want. They could also retire one unit to put and give them as a free unit. I doubt they'll do a free unit. They're always gonna make a pool. I wonder if they'll add it to the general other one. GG Collab worth getting. The best one is probably Miss Confile. Miss Confile is arguably the best artifact of the GG Collab. Out of all the artifacts, it's just Miss Confile. That's the only one that actually does really, really good. But yeah. So to summarize everything, yeah, it's been a while since I've streamed. I am not used to this. I'm not used to screaming for 2 hours straight. This is usually, if I talk to people, this is usually like this level I would get. This is how I actually talk in real life. I feel like everyone has a quote unquote streamer voice. This is my regular voice. If I'm actually just talking regularly. So I usually get a lot of excited when I actually stream. But yeah, it's nice to be back. I don't know if I'll be able to stream again consistently. I'm gonna try to start, but next week is another really busy week. Just work has been getting really, really busy. School, and like, as you guys know, I'm a grad student, so work and like school work, it's just a lot, which is why I haven't been able to stream and post as many videos. I'm trying to get better about it. The other thing is, it's like I try to do too much a lot of the times, and usually have to drop something. And right now, I've definitely been slacking on the YouTube side, like the streaming, the videos, and it doesn't help that EP7 kind of went through a dip. As far as the updates, to summarize everything for today's updates that we talked about. Really cool content coming out. I'm excited as far as that. I'm excited for the new PvP game modes. I definitely think that they're trying to do more and add more new content, which I like, especially because I know the past 3 months for Epic 7 have been a pretty big dip, which is why my motivation to make videos as well is also at a low, as well as me being very busy with like life, right? So like all those things together has made that. But I am excited for that. As far as balance changes goes, I don't think they targeted the current balance change issues with the units that's happening right now. But it looks like they're trying to actually do something about it, right? I mean, at least they're trying. I don't think it's the right direction for some of the things that they're saying, like with the ML heroes, like how they're gonna not buff. Like it's granted, there could have been a miscommunication on how they're saying that. And can use against Milim. I don't know what the Solitaire one is an interesting one because he did change. But overall, I mean, it's cool update. Cool updates in the future. I'm excited for a lot of the updates. Really cool units coming that I think are balanced and are gonna be really fun to play with. So yeah, it's a pretty good time. It's a good time. Although we just came out from a very bad time, so it is good that they are trying to get back into it and be better about it. Because there's definitely a lot of problems with Epic 7. I'm not gonna say it's a perfect game, but yeah, it's been nice. I kind of miss y'all a lot too. I miss streaming, but I'm definitely out of practice. I am super out of breath. I don't know if next week I'll be able to do a RTA stream. I think I'm not gonna go for Emperor this season. I just don't feel like grinding it out. I know I can do it. I just don't think I have the mental fortitude to grind it out. That's just where I am at right now. I don't think I want to do it. Because for me to get Emperor, I would have to be playing Epic 7 2 hours a day. 2 to 3 hours a day up until the last day. And I don't think I want to do that. So just because I don't want to do that, I'm probably not going to climb for Emperor. I know, unfortunate. I will never be Emperor. I'm forever going to be Champ. I'm probably going to change my name to Champ Blair again in the Discord. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully I'll see you guys again, not in 2 months. Hopefully just in like a week and a half. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in a week and a half or so rather than 2 months like last time. And yeah, I'm excited to see all the other stuff. As far as videos, I am trying to, as far as scheduling, I want to do Epic 7 Mondays. On Tuesdays, top 5s. Thursdays, is it worth it? Friday, Saturday, depending if I have time to record a video that day, I'll record a video. And then Sunday, a hot take or a guide. That's what I'm trying to go. There's a lot. I have a really long backlog of things I want to do, but just haven't had time to do. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace.